home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Yes. On a Tuesday, Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter is back for us. I know he came back yesterday, but Kyle, doing some training. Okay, we're always trying to get better. That's what life is about. Always trying to get better, always trying to improve, always trying to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward.
And pretty soon we'll have fun new YouTube equipment.
That's right. So Kyle is working on that. We appreciate him, and we appreciate you for making us a part of your day, whether it's for 4 minutes, 4 seconds, or the whole 4 hours. And speaking of, we have a full 4-hour show for you. We got Eric Martins, okay? That's coming up at 11. We got led into this by Whitey Gleason, and I don't know if this was a setup, but dang it, I'm taking the bait. And I really hope, as Kyle brings up the new equipment that we are going to get in the studio here, I really hope that things don't shut off today because, yeah, we're going there. It's a Top of T.O. Tuesday, okay?
We haven't done anything yet. Nothing's going to shut off.
It's a Top of T.O. Tuesday, okay? And things might get a little bit spicy and a little bit dicey, and hopefully I don't get fined and it doesn't get a little bit pricey. Because as we were having a conversation with Whitey Gleason yesterday during the crosstalk, this is where all problems start. Whitey said to us, and he just alluded to it, if you will. Whitey says to us, are you positive? And I'm paraphrasing here, but he almost said it without saying it. Maybe this Westbrook thing isn't Scott Perry. I've been pretty stuck on the thought that it is Scott Perry, right? This is a guy who is a bulldog the way he plays the game. He's ferocious in everything that he does. Seems like a Scott Perry guy. But from a perspective of roster construction, it doesn't make much sense. And it's just kind of being drawn along. And it's turning into the Kings just kind of have a thing for Russell Westbrook. And I thought, the way Whitey was saying it, this reminds me of other situations with the Sacramento Kings prior to Scott Perry being here. The Kings had a thing for Zach LaVine. The Kings had a thing for Kyle Kuzma. Now, it didn't work out with Kyle Kuzma, but Zach LaVine, they've had an affinity for him for a very long time. Why do they seem to be enamored with certain players and they just can't get off of it? They just can't move off of it. So when Whitey said that, I thought to myself, well, that's interesting, because the examples that are being brought up and are coming up in my mind, these examples are prior to Scott Perry being here. So when you start to peel back the interest level from the Sacramento Kings, are we sure that this is a Scott Perry thing? We talked about the snake draft. We talked about how it feels like each person in a place of power in this organization is getting some level of decision-making and some level of, hey, this person is going to come into the fold. And if you look at what the Kings have done in the past, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, moves like that again are before Scott Perry's time, are we sure that this Westbrook thing is a Scott Perry initiative? Now, that's not to say that Scott Perry isn't a fan of Russell Westbrook. I would never say that. Personally, I don't know. I would assume that he is. And, when it's come up, when Scott Perry has described the type of player that he likes, when Doug Christie has described the type of player that he likes, Russell Westbrook fits the bill. But he doesn't fit this roster, at least not right now. So who is pushing this initiative? And Carmichael Dave, he responded to E-Train Talk Sports, who is a 14-year-old aspiring journalist who is doing great work for the Sacramento Kings world. Okay, I'm sure he's got a bright future ahead of him. So Dave quote tweeted E-Train yesterday, and in the quote tweet essentially gave an update. So we will give you that update as well. But Whitey Gleason, I don't think he's trying to get me in trouble, but I wouldn't put it past him. And I'm taking the bait, baby. We're talking about fishing. I'm taking that bait. I'm taking that little worm on the fishing line because it's August and that's what I'm going to do. So we are going to break down who is in charge, who is truly in charge of this initiative. So we're going to do that. We're going to have some fun. Look, I told you guys that I don't really game. I'm not a gamer. I stopped at PS2. I have a PS4 that, we moved. We left the apartment that we were in because it was a real quick move. When I took this job, now we are in a house and I have still not even plugged in the PS4. That's how much of a and the fact, listen to those two statements, not plugged in and PS4. Okay, so I am the opposite. I know that the roundtable guys, they all game together and they game with other media members, and it seems like a fun thing to be a part of. I am not a part of it. I've never gamed. I really stopped at PS2. I never did the online thing. That's just not me. But with that being said, 2K ratings are out. We have some specific 2K ratings that we are going to focus on as it pertains to the Sacramento Kings, because I know a lot of y'all like it. I don't really like it. Or excuse me, I don't really mind it, right? It just is not something. I got Crash Bandicoot on PS4. I'll get down on Crash Bandicoot. I'll get down. I don't know. What is
that
it?
The one with the fox?
Yeah, I think he's a fox. I don't actually know. I don't actually know what Crash. We got to Google that. But I get down on Crash Bandicoot. Okay, and that's a lot of fun. I think I have Madden, and it was a gift. I think I have Madden 2023 or 2022 from, I think it was a gift from my old job or something like that. And what else do I have? I got FIFA 2021. I don't know what it is. I looked and Panama wasn't in it, so that ticked me off. So that's where I'm at with gaming. But I know a lot of y'all are all about the gaming life and these 2K ratings. The crazy part is as these games get more realistic, the 2K ratings actually bother people because it is supposed to kind of essentially be a sort of a scale, if you will, and people will get annoyed if they don't think the players on their team are high enough. So we will have some fun with that. Speaking of rankings, we do have to get to that tier list. Kyle and I didn't get to talk QBs yesterday because that's when Ramsey was in, and we didn't do the athletic QB tier. We essentially expanded on how teams are really excited about their QBs right now. But we have that tier list. We'll tell you where Brock Purdy falls, where my guy Geno Smith falls. And there should be two rankings. There should be Geno Smith, and there should be Geno Smith in a dome in Las Vegas. Yeah. Because Geno Smith in a dome in Las Vegas might be hovering around top 10. Okay, so we're going to see how disrespected Geno Smith is and how possibly disrespected Brock Purdy is. So we're going to talk about that. Honestly, I'm in Sacramento now. Okay. And it's really nice to be here. It's really nice to be a part of this community. But I'm reading some of these headlines, and it's taking me right back to the Bay Area as far as the Niners are concerned, because they've tried different training staffs. They've tried to change things. The Niners, and one of the most, I guess, underrated conversations as far as the national NFL media, not locally, and I would count Sacramento as far as locally when it comes to the Niners, is how much bad luck the Niners have had with health. And this is now going on dang near closer to a decade than to the other side of it. I mean, just years and years of this stuff. And they still have Super Bowl appearances. They still have NFC Championship appearances. And it just feels like they cannot get out of their own way. Last season, ravaged with injuries. Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Aiyuk, the list goes on and on. This year, Brandon Aiyuk still isn't healthy. Juwan Jennings has the calf thing, and I think we would have all preferred. So a lot of people, it's funny with Juwan Jennings, because I know a lot of Niners fans initially, they didn't necessarily want it to be an injury, but they didn't want another holdout situation, right? With what Kyle Shanahan has said, And with the idea of Juwan Jennings, who has battled calf injuries in the past, with all of that on the table, I feel like a lot of Niners fans would have preferred if it was a stupid contract thing, because these calf issues are nothing to play with. So Juwan Jennings with a legit calf injury. Jordan Watkins looked good. Oh my goodness, everybody is salivating over Jordan Watkins. Messes up his ankle. Kyle Shanahan announces he's going to be out for a month. You just cannot make this stuff up. You truly, truly can't. So the Niners, there's going to be a couple tryouts going on. So you need to get in shape. If you are one of the, look, and whether you're older or younger, it doesn't matter. If you think you can help these teams out, a la Vince Papale and the Eagles back in the day, okay, you're going to have an opportunity here. There are 2 tryouts coming out for you. So go to your local gym, make sure you get in shape, make sure you are prepared to rock and roll, because there is going to be a right fielder tryout for the San Francisco Giants, and there is going to be a wide receiver tryout for the San Francisco 49ers. That's where we're headed. I know for a fact right now there is some dude walking around Sacramento that is better than that other St. Brown. Equanimous. There's somebody walking around, and I'm talking to you, driving in your car right now. You went to, give me one, Kyle. You went to Sac City. Maybe you went to DVC. I know that's the Bay Area.
American River College.
You went to one of these JUCOs. You didn't have the grades to get to Sac State, to get to UC Davis. You thought it was over. We saw this with Isaac Jones. Look at Isaac Jones. He thought he was done. He was working in a factory, and then he had a growth spurt. I know this. I know
It's an overly simplified version of the story.
This is how it would be on Disney. He was working at a factory. He was 5'4". Then he grows to 6'8" while at the factory, and next thing you know, he's on the Sacramento Kings. That could be you. You in your car right now. You on YouTube. You in the Sac Chat. You listening on the TuneIn app. You listening on the Sacktown Sports app. This could be you.
You can be Equanimous Valdez-Scantling St. Brown, who currently is the number 3 receiver for the Niners.
You got to be better than Terrell Owens' son. You got to be better than Tyreek. There is somebody out there right now listening to this, and I hope you hear it, and I hope it gets you juiced up. Go work out right now. Go get a sled. Go pull a sled somewhere. Go throw those gloves on. Anybody can catch something with these new gloves. Go throw a weight vest on and post it on social media. The Niners are essentially hosting tryouts for a wide receiver. And the Giants, dang it might be me. One of them high wheelers out there. Go try out for the Giants. Just walk out there.
Anyone can play right field.
Just walk to Oracle Park and say, just give me some BP. Give me the Ballers, the Oakland Ballers. Somebody go out there, man, because we can't keep doing this. And shout out to my boy, Drew Gilbert. Shout out to Drew Gilbert. Kyle, I don't know if you saw, he gets his first career hit. He was 0 for 10.
Yeah, but then what happened after that?
So, no, hold on now. So if you missed this highlight or lowlight, if you will, Drew Gilbert, we've played the walk-off grand slam from a couple years ago when he was at Tennessee, Rocky Top. He was a volunteer. We've played that for you, and that's my favorite highlight during the break. And you're not going to have a break here because you're in the midst of a 30-minute commercial-free sports talk segment for you to kick off the show at the top of every hour. But Drew Gilbert is a fiery guy. That's why I love him. He hits that home run. He threw that bat in the air. It still hasn't come down. And that was 3 years ago. This is who Drew Gilbert is. So Drew Gilbert gets his first hit. He's got all of his family, I believe, from Minnesota in attendance. He's juiced up, ready to go. He gets on first base. He doesn't nearly get picked off, but it was close. And then there was that line drive. He gets back on the line drive. He steals second base. This is all in the same 3-minute span. Actually 30-second span. He steals second base. He forgets that this is the major leagues and not AAA, not AA, not single A, definitely not SEC, not college ball. He steals second base. The ball goes into the outfield. He tries to get the third with 2 outs, by the way. This is a golden rule to all you. If you're going out to try out for right field, you got to remember, you cannot make the first or last out at third. Those are rules you cannot break in baseball. So Drew Gilbert's juiced up. He tries to get to third because he's trying to make a play, and he gets hosed at third. Okay, and I believe at that point, it was still 0-0. It was still 0-0 in the game. And he gets his first hit. He gets thrown out at third. I'm not even hating on him because I've done stupid stuff like that too, and he was juiced up, ready to go, but it can't happen. Shortly after that, the Padres score. Rafael Devers, who continues to hit in the 2-hole, so nobody is on base whenever he's hitting. And after they tie up the ball game, Bob Melvin, who continues to sleepwalk through the season, has some type of conversation with Logan Webb. Lets Logan Webb go out for the 7th inning. And I'll tell you this much. If you went to make a sandwich, if you went to the bathroom, even if it was just number 1, okay, Kyle and I were joking yesterday, number 1 or number 2, even if you just went number 1, you went to the bathroom, you came out, and the Giants are down 3. I've never seen a decision made so poorly so quickly from Bob Melvin. He continues to sleepwalk through this thing, and Kyle has up the backflip.
The Drew Gilbert Grand Slam, not on the Giants.
From the College World Series 4 years ago, and we still love watching it. So that right there got him drafted in the first round.
I feel like he was probably doing other things too.
No, that specifically. So that's on your Giants. And I don't know what to do now, Kyle, because he's run for, 14, 15. You can't keep running him out there. I don't know if his tryout is done. I don't know who's next up. We will find out shortly. I would assume he's going to get this series. This is it.
Well, who's next? If it's not him, is it Fitzgerald?
I think it would be Fitzgerald, would be my guess.
Okay. And then we're just waiting for Encarnacion to come back after that?
When is Luciano going to get – when is his turn? Never?
Never. No. We've decided no. At some point, do you just put Ramos in right field? I know he's terrible on defense, but like –
you would put Ramos in right field, and then, like I said, I think that this is the time to just put Luciano up there. It cannot get worse.
Drew Gilbert's 1 for 15 and got thrown out at third base. It can't be worse.
It legitimately can't be worse. So that all happened yesterday, and if you are headed to the gym right now, or if you thought you were going to skip out on the gym, go try out as well. Kyle, I'm just seeing, I guess the video messed up our audio. So we're back now.
It was muted, so it's I don't know.
There you go, on YouTube. We're back now. But go work out, because you are going to have an opportunity here. You are going to have an opportunity to try out for right field for the Giants. You're going to have an opportunity to run some routes for the San Francisco 49ers. That's what's going on here. Also, Cam Thomas, we're going to spend some time on Cam Thomas, because I pray that I have the same confidence as Cam Thomas does when talking about future contracts, because Cam Thomas is asking for close to $40 million a year. The problem is Cam Thomas is citing other bad contracts. So I don't know how that's going to work out for him, because I don't think a lot of people would agree the specific name that he uses is Emmanuel Quickley. There are a lot of people that think Emmanuel Quickley is overpaid. So Cam Thomas using Emmanuel Quickley as an example is not going to fly. That's like every quarterback using Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence as their barometer when they're trying to get paid. That didn't age well. That did not age well. So we'll have some fun talking about Cam Thomas and updates on restricted agency, whether or not Kuminga taking the qualifying offer would help or hurt the Sacramento Kings. And that is going to really round out what we're doing on this Tuesday. Like I said, we got the QB tiers coming up as well. And, I was thinking about this, and a lot of people are getting on Shams because he said it could be one of the craziest off seasons ever. We discussed Domantas Sabonis and how he kind of alluded to another move or this thing not being done quite yet, right? Domantas Sabonis alluded to that, and it made me go, It made some people say, Allen, you're reaching, and maybe I am, and I probably am, but that's where we're at right now. Did Shams actually mean the craziest trade deadline ever? And what I mean by that is everything that we've seen, okay, and now it's reported that the Lakers are solid. The Lakers are solid. The Warriors are just moving around the fringes whenever they figure out what they're going to do with Kuminga. They got Steph's brother. Maybe they should bring back Steph's brother-in-law too, Damian Lee. Just bring the whole crew back. Okay, Al Horford, it was reported that he is just waiting for the Warriors. But the Lakers, they had opportunities to move Jared Vanderbilt. Okay, and we're not even talking about the Austin Reeves of the world, but Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent. The Lakers said, I think we're good. We got skinny Luka. We don't need to do anything else. So as I'm thinking about all these teams, the Kings included, kind of saying, hey, I think we're pretty much set as we are headed towards very quickly the middle of August. Could this be a situation where a lot happens as we approach the deadline? And I know we say this almost every season, but this one in particular, with some openings happening, specifically in the Eastern Conference, could some moves be made that could alter how teams feel right now? And where we're at right now with the CBA and with these prices and with people kind of prioritizing or teams prioritizing flexibility essentially over talent, to be completely honest with you. We would rather be flexible than to be a little bit better and to not be flexible. Could we see some more moves be made or more moves than normal be made at the trade deadline because of just how this thing has evolved? That's what I'm starting to think. If you are a Laker team, and the Lakers, they made a crazy move, not that they actually planned for it, but it fell in their lap, made a crazy move at the last trade deadline, able to acquire Luka Doncic. Teams like the Lakers, teams like the Timberwolves, who have done the Lakers actually made a decent amount of moves. DeAndre Ayton's a number one overall pick, a former number one overall pick. You know, a lot of people acting like the Lakers have done nothing. They don't like DeAndre Ayton, or people don't like DeAndre Ayton because he slept on the floor that one time, and we're still not sure why he slept on the floor.
I forgot about that.
I don't know why.
Why was he sleeping on an air mattress?
We don't know. We still don't know.
For like 4 weeks.
And if there was a reason, I'm not trying to joke about it, we just never found out. No, he just said it in a story. He's like, I'm having a hard time transitioning in Portland. I'm sleeping on an air mattress. Yeah, I don't know how that happens with millions of dollars. And then there was the snow thing where he almost, would he miss a game or he almost missed a game?
He did miss a game because he was snowed into his house.
So a lot of people are acting as if the Lakers did absolutely nothing. The Lakers are saying we're pretty much good to go. But other teams, the Timberwolves, all right, you could argue the Spurs. If the Spurs are smelling blood and think they can go on a deep run, if De'Aaron Fox and Wembanyama really are working out. So, and obviously the Eastern Conference, anything can happen. So did Shams actually mean the craziest trade deadline ever? And could one of these players be a part of the trade deadline? We are expanding on what we talked about yesterday with a young stud on this team and probably the most polarizing player that's left on this team as far as what fans want to do with him. We'll tell you what it is, who it is, and what we should do. Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Throwing things at or onto a field or court can seriously injure people, unless it's that hockey thing where you throw the teddy bears on the ring. So they all get collected and given to kids.
All of them? No bear left behind.
You can listen to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 1140 a.m. YouTube or the Sacktown Sports app.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing. Need a water heater or plumbing repair? Call Bell Brothers. Clogged drain? We'll clear it for $67. Plus a free camera inspection, a $250 value. We're fast, on time, and the price we quote is the price you pay. No surprises. Plus, we'll check your plumbing for free. Call Bell Brothers or book at thenosurpriseguys.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop. Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Cash, Vincent Mason, and Avriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Nine 339-1140, taking you up to 2 p.m. One thing I want to ask Coach Eric Martins about at 11 o'clock, I want to ask him how the A's view, I guess, hitting metrics, right? There's all these arguments about whether batting average matters or not. I'm kind of late. I'm actually very late. I'm on the OPS train. I'm fully on the OPS train. Yeah, I'm on the OPS train.
Yeah, that's the one that matters.
But you don't have to talk bad about batting average to understand why OPS is so important. That's the only other thing I would say.
Well, no, the problem is the batting average people always insist that your stats are garbage and that their batting average matters. I think the batting average people are the instigators. The OPS people are just like, hey.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Look, 720 is the average, and if you're above 720, it means you're a quality baseball player.
Don't do that.
I personally think the batting average people just need to get over themselves.
No, there are a lot of, you know what? Like I said, I'm going to talk to Coach Eric Martins about it, see what he thinks. And I'm curious to know what a lot of Kings fans think about what I'm about to say. And this one isn't from Whitey Gleason. This one is an Allen Stiles special on a Tapatio Tuesday. If you're joining us for one of the first Tapatio Tuesdays or your first Tapatio Tuesday, yeah, I guess we're putting Tapatio in the Style Espresso. It's real spicy today.
Yeah.
It's real spicy today. There's a new Keurig coffee machine. So we don't have, obviously, Tom is retired now, but Pat was making the coffee, okay? And
Pat was making the coffee after Tom retired.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We just got to make sure.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. It was Tom, okay?
No, you just said it was Pat.
No, I didn't. It was Tom. Pat was making it after Tom left, but now we have a Keurig machine.
So now nobody has to.
Now nobody's making it. Now nobody's making it.
You can make your own.
I can make, but you know what? I kind of like when a coworker makes it.
You like when someone else makes it.
Yeah, then you go up to them and you say, hey, good batch. You know, what am I going to tell the Keurig, good batch?
4 hours later?
Yeah, I mean, hey, good batch. What am I going to say? So I've had some of this, and it's a Style Espresso. It's also Tapatio Tuesday. And look, man, you might not be happy with me, and I'm not saying to do it. And I'm not trying to push this narrative or this idea, but something hit me yesterday, and I thought there's one player on this team that could help you in either direction. They could get you somebody or somebodies that could put you in a better position for right now, or they could fetch you some draft assets that could help you for the future. And ultimately, it comes down to how good do you think that this player is actually going to be? And as much as we can look at this and say that this player should take a leap this season, I don't know if he is in the perfect position to make a leap based on the current setup. And some of you are guessing it already. Yeah, that person is Keegan Murray.
Oh, what's up, Sacramento?
And the reason I bring this up is because I don't know that Keegan Murray is in the best situation to succeed. Somebody said, hey, if he's going to have to keep playing the 4 or whatever it is, he might be better at the 3. Should we think about moving him, right? Because he's not necessarily being put in the best position to succeed. I don't want to move Keegan Murray, but I don't want Keegan Murray fighting to be the third option on this team. And that's what it's going to be. Keegan Murray is going to be the third or fourth option on this team. So because of that, you could look at this a couple ways. You could look at it and say, you move Keegan Murray, look at the win now pieces you could acquire, right? Maybe a couple guys, honestly, to add to that depth and go from there with this current team that you have. And maybe the team makes even more sense based on who you're able to acquire. Now, you could sign him too, right? You can do a sign and trade, or you can get him that extension and then move him next, whatever the case is. But honestly, it would make more sense to do it now because of the DeMar DeRozan situation. And DeMar DeRozan, he's not necessarily gone next season. If you don't trade him, it's not guaranteed contract. But after, what is that, January 27th, somebody's paying him that money if he's on a roster, right? Based on the current setup, whether he gets bought out or whatever, as of right now, DeMar DeRozan is still on the team for the next 2 years, okay? And Zach LaVine is still on the team for the next 2 years. So it's not that I want to move Keegan Murray, but I'm looking at this thinking, at what point are they going to put Keegan Murray in the best position to succeed? And I know someone saying, well, he's got to make his own position. Okay, fine. but he's got to be put in at least a better position. If Keegan Murray was getting beat out as far as shot attempts by Keon Ellis and other dudes, then I would tend to agree with you more. But one guy's making $47 million, okay? One guy is a Hall of Famer in DeMar DeRozan who takes 25 shots a game, right? Top 20. You have two guys in, top 26 shot attempts per game, field goal attempts. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Both of them are on contract for the next 2 years. Then you have Domantas Sabonis, who's not necessarily the offense first guy, but he's making a lot of money too. So it's not that I want to trade Keegan Murray, but you're not really putting him in the best position to succeed. So because of that, I don't think that he should be untouchable because you're not putting him in the best position to succeed. Guys like Trey Murphy and other dudes that we've brought up that are clearly going to be the engine. I mean, Zion, I don't know. The Pelicans are not really the best example ever, but guys that have gotten the Jabari Smiths of the world, they made sure, okay, and they paid him. They made sure he was not included in the Kevin Durant stuff. Kevin Durant, I've seen conflicting reports whether or not the Rockets are going to extend him or not, but Jabari Smith is going to get his time, right? The difference is, in the meantime, the Rockets are going to be competing for championships. The Rockets are a playoff team. The Kings are not that right now. You have Keegan Murray, who's just kind of sitting there, and yeah, he starts and Jabari Smith Jr. hasn't, but Keegan Murray's just kind of sitting there waiting for his time, if you will, in a weird, untouchable position. And what? You're going to trade DeMar DeRozan either before the trade deadline or after this season and say, okay, Keegan, it's what? What are we going into, year 4 for Keegan this year? Okay, Keegan, it's year 5. Now go be the number 1, number 2 option. I just don't know how that works. So I don't want to move Keegan, but if you're not going to, I guess, force the issue with DeMar DeRozan and you're essentially, for lack of a better term, stuck with Zach LaVine's contract, I'd at least think about it. Keegan is probably the one guy on the team, right? 25 years old or 24, 25 years old. You got Keegan and I guess to a lesser degree, Keon Ellis. Those guys could get you win now players or they could get you draft capital, right? Because I think you could slot Keegan in. Now, that's where the Keegan Murray-Kuminga conversation came up and why the Warriors said, hey, we think that Keegan is going to be a 3-and-D guy. We don't necessarily need Keegan to be, a 1 or 2 option. We can pay him. We don't really know what's happening after the 2-year mark anyway, so we'll take Keegan. You get your young player in Jonathan Kuminga, and he can be your future number 1. That's the Warriors' perspective. Let's take off the purple lenses for a second. I would not do it. But if you're the Warriors, you're saying, okay, we know that Keegan is a really good player, right? And we get it. The problem is we kind of screwed over Kuminga and everybody knows that. But you're trading your 3rd, 4th option with a logjam at the offensive end. You have 2 guys under contract for the next 2 years that are going to be your 1 and 2 options. Right? And you're essentially, again, and it's the Michael Porter Jr. thing. The difference is Michael Porter Jr. is going to play on a team that's essentially trying to take. They're going to say, go ahead, Michael Porter Jr., we're going to trade you whenever, and go build up your value. It's the Cam Johnson thing all over again.
Yeah, one anonymous Nets exec said he might lead the league in scoring.
Go do it so we can trade your butt. So that's essentially what the Warriors and how the Warriors were approaching it. You can disagree with the Warriors all you want. But I don't think you can agree, or I don't think you can come to the conclusion that the Kings have really done Keegan Murray a ton of favors. And we went into this season, correct me if I'm wrong, we went into this season, or this offseason, saying we got to get Keegan Murray help. Where's the help? Where's the help? They didn't get Keegan Murray any help.
They got Dennis Schroeder.
They got Dennis Schroeder and Nick Clifford, who is fighting to be a 3, right? That's what they got. So we're going to be in the same situation. Now, Nick Clifford is going to help on the defensive end, but we're essentially going to be in the same situation that we've been in the last couple years with Keegan. He's going to be guarding everyone. Now, hopefully, Keegan will no longer have to guard Steph Curry and point guards. He won't have to do that. But then on the offensive end, and I'm very curious how this offense is going to look, where does Keegan kind of slot in here? Because he still looks like Grenade Man. Keegan Murray is Grenade Man to me. Okay, there's 3 seconds left on the clock. DeMar DeRozan has dribbled for 24 of those, or 21 of those seconds, and the ball goes to Grenade Man. Go ahead, Keegan. Take the shot now. So I'm not saying that you should move Keegan. I don't want to move Keegan, but they are not putting him in the best position to succeed. 916-339-1140. Am I crazy? Let's keep the conversation going. Also, we should all be as confident as Cam Thomas. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports. Allen Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports injury update, brought to you by DTLA Law Group. Max Muncy, out with that right hand fracture, has started to perform baseball activities, but still nothing as of early August. His expected return is late August. Jacob Wilson, out with that left forearm fracture, has begun playing catch and running. The hope is for him to return sometime in September. That was your Sacktown Sports injury update, brought to you by DTLA Law Group. Hey, I'm Allen Stiles. Injured at work? Call downtown. DTLA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they have won over $500 million in settlements. DTLA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay $0 up front. Call downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com. Text charges may apply.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Americans may not agree on much, but we agree on Social Security. We all pay in. It ought to be there when we need it. Social Security could face a funding gap in less than a decade, and I don't want to see a pay cut. I'm with AARP in the fight to protect the Social Security we earned.
Pledge to protect Social Security at aarp.org/weearnedit. That's aarp.org/weearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Summer's flying by, and that back-to-school checklist, it's growing fast. New backpack? Check. School supplies? Check. Dentist appointment? Let's fix that. Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics is making it easy to cross dental checkups off your summer list fast, with priority scheduling for new patients and kid-friendly care that makes them smile. It's one less thing to worry about before fall. Call now or book online at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com, because healthy smiles should be the easiest thing to check off your summer list.
Brought to you by Xfinity. Sports are unpredictable. The price of your internet shouldn't be. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One consistent internet price for 5 years with no annual contracts. Guaranteed.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. 916 says, Allen, I love your take. They don't want to put Keegan at the 3. We got Clifford now, and I'm all for making the Kings better if that's what we have to do to be better, especially when his value is high right now. It's for the better of the Sacramento Kings. If they wanted him to succeed, they would have put him at the 3. Now that we got 2 new draft picks, he's very tradable for players that fit and make us better. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to trade Keegan Murray. It just feels as if now that we're here and DeMar DeRozan is still on the team and Zach LaVine was always going to still be here, even though there were conversations had about everyone, you got to at least see what's out there, because Keegan is not going to flourish on this roster, not in this starting lineup. I don't see it.
Well, and you kind of made the point, like, it doesn't even have to be getting rid of him to go down. It could be like, again, I'm not recommending they should do this, but it's like if the thing last summer that held up the Lauri Markkanen trade was not including Keegan. If they now relented and included Keegan in a Lauri Markkanen trade,
right,
Utah might trade him, and then all of a sudden you would have Markkanen, DeRozan, Sabonis, and clear up the guard combination. You know, you would trade LaVine and maybe one of the other ones in that deal. But it's just the idea of picking a lane by trading Keegan, which again, I wouldn't recommend. I'd just extend, because like, even if he does end up just being a 3-and-D guy, those are still pretty valuable in the NBA.
I agree.
But
I agree.
But does it help a team that is 32-50?
Exactly. I would say I agree with you, but it's almost the Keon Ellis conversation where that's cool, but that's not going to help you get to the playoffs.
Yeah, I guess the tough part, though, with Keegan specifically is like, you have a better chance of finding another Keon Ellis than you do of finding another Keegan Murray in terms of like relative ease, right? We can debate whether Keegan should have been the 4th pick in the draft or whether guys like Ivy and Matherin in that draft class or Jalen Williams were more talented, but ultimately he was the 4th pick in the draft, and the Kings have only drafted in the top 4, twice in the last 15 years. So either they're going to stack a bunch of top 4 picks year after year in the lottery to get more Keegan Murrays.
And you still need to, but that's a part of it, right? If Keegan Murray is not going to be the guy, that's fine, but you're always going to be looking for the guy. And I'm not saying that you're going to be able to trade Keegan and find that player, but you could.
Yeah.
You could trade Keegan Murray and you could find your SGA. You could trade Keegan Murray and you can just take the draft picks. You could trade Keegan Murray and you could get guys that, if you're not going to have quote unquote the guy and you want to mess around and continue this, try to get into the playoffs thing, you could go to a bad team, or you could go to any level team and find guys that could maybe, 2 or 3 players that could fit this team better, right? And give you what Keegan's giving you and just kind of round out the roster a bit more.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a quick fix situation, because like you said, you still have your one in Sabonis, but his game is unique because he's not a score first number 1 option.
Yeah.
But you still would need to find that some way, somehow. And Keegan, either you're making the call that Keegan is the piece you use to go get that guy, or Keegan is the piece that then leads you to lotteries that then lead to you drafting your next version of it, is kind of your point, is right. No matter what they do, it's not going to work unless they have a true bona fide number 1 scorer who's giving you, let's just say what De'Aaron Fox was giving you, right? 26 points a night, playmaking at multiple levels. You're not going to be able to get there without that guy. And if you don't believe that guy is on the roster right now, then you have to find some way to go get that.
And I'm not saying to do it. I'm just saying, similar to the conversations that we've had, you're just stuck in the middle right now. It would at least say, okay, well, whatever you want to call it. Okay, well, this team now, that makes more sense, right? That team could do some things. This team right now, with Keegan essentially being hindered, if you will, it's not going to help. And, I'm already seeing the text come through. It's about Keegan's how Keegan goes about his business or his mindset from the 5-3-0. Keegan can still be so much better, but his mindset won't allow him. If he wants to be a star, roster shouldn't matter. Stars find ways to get theirs. I think it's not even that I disagree with you, 5-3-0 from the Dirty 530. I think that's more of an argument in my direction. Not that I want to trade him, but you could say you're not trading a star, right? If you don't think he has it, if you don't think he's going to be a star, then you can trade him for what his value could be to another team where he slots in better to do X, Y, and Z to try to get either something that's going to help you now or something that's going to help you in the future. I just think that everything should be talked about, and we're doing a lot of talking, and not a lot has actually happened with the Kings. It just dawned on me that we spent all of the season and the beginning of the offseason saying Keegan needs help, and the Kings have got Keegan no help.
Well, and they have a lot to make up from last year, right? Because remember, Keegan was essentially playing the 3 in 2024, right? They moved Harrison Barnes to the sit in the corner and shoot threes guys, which led to a lot of Harrison Barnes putting up the Tony Snell stat lines of, he's just out there doing cardio kind of situations. But Keegan's second year, they basically made the switch to have him be the 3 and have Harrison Barnes be the 4 who sits in the corner and shoots threes. And then they decided, actually, we're going to go get DeMar DeRozan, a wing, move Keegan back to the 4 because that's going to make some grand offensive leap. And we talked about this ad nauseum during the season. Like, Keegan shot 29% from 3 the first 2 months of the season. And then once Doug took over, he was shooting like 38% from 3, right? Like, Mike Brown got fired in part because of their decision to move Keegan back to the 4. And you saw the improvement once they made the changes later in the season, but ultimately it's still the same team that's coming back, right? Yeah. It's still a team with a 9-guard lineup and Keegan Murray having to play the 4 out of necessity. It's just they're not putting him. I mean, you could say this about a lot of people, but they're not putting him in a position to succeed.
No, and they're going to extend him, or that's what we believe will happen. They're going to extend him, and that's great. I just wish that they put him in a position to where you can at least understand what's going to be next for Keegan. What I've learned from this offseason is that I have no clue what's going to happen with this DeMar DeRozan thing. I think he'll get moved during the season when a team figures out they need a scoring punch, and okay, well, his contract next season isn't guaranteed, I think, but I was also pretty sure that he wouldn't be on this team right now. So, and the more whispers and rumors that come out that DeMar DeRozan really wasn't shopped that hard this offseason makes me think, all right, well then what's the plan with Keegan Murray? What is this prioritization?
Yeah, and I see people making the point on the text line like, oh, they could still go trade for a 4, or hey, maybe Maxime Reynaud develops into a 4, which, hey, cross your fingers and hope that one works out. Yes, if a second-round pick turns into a starting power forward in the NBA, then you've really done a great job in your scouting and development. But
in about 2 years, by the way.
Exactly. All of your decision-making this offseason, and again, the Kuminga thing aside, because if they get Kuminga, this conversation all changes, but all of their decision-making thus far is to reaffirm that Keegan is going to be a 4 and not put him in the best, because like De'Aaron talked about this, wings are the best players in the league, and lengthy 4, like Keegan in this position should be a 3, and Keegan should have that opportunity to get the ball on the wing and work kind of the way that Jason Tatum does. If you can envision like what Tatum looked like 5 years ago versus Tatum now, that's like the best case scenario of growth. But even just a small step in that direction could at least put him in a position to show something, because we saw how aggressive he was at getting to the basket at times.
On the other side, Coach Eric Martins joins us, third base coach for the Athletics. We're talking to him about the A's plans as we move closer towards the end of the season and what he expects from the green and the gold before the season ends. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products in next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal. You should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products in next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Avery-Anna. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
1 hour down, 3 to go. And you know what that means when we hear that music. Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to play. Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, you got it. Anytime, Al.
So let's start here, Coach. You lost last night, but you've won the last two series. What's been clicking for the team these last couple weeks?
Well, so surprised our offense has been pretty good. You know, Langoliers has been on a tear, and quite honestly, I think he got robbed of being AL Player of the Week this past week.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough not to get it when you have a 3-homer game and then you have another game where you are just a triple shy of the cycle. But hey, I get it. I guess our guys can't be getting it every week. We had some good runs with our guys. So, but it's been good. Our offense has been good. Our pitching has done well. Our defense has played well. We've been playing really good baseball the last couple of weeks, as a matter of fact. So it's been fun to see.
Speaking of Shea Langoliers, coach, we were just talking about this. I don't know what is happening in West Sacramento, but the A's put up the most ridiculous stat lines when it comes to hitting at least once a week. What are you guys saying internally when this stuff happens? I mean, the funny thing about this season, obviously we have all this stuff with being in Sacramento for the first year and everything that comes with all of those politics and all of that. But what, I guess, just random, if you will, season for the A's. You have arguably the best hitting night ever with Nick Kurtz. You have the best catch this season with Denzel Clark. Then you just get random nights with Shea Langoliers hitting 3 home runs. I mean, this has been, just from your perspective as a coach, gotta be up there for the most unique season you've been a part of.
Without a doubt. I mean, it just shows the talent that we have on this team and how exciting we really are, and it, unfortunately, I said it all year, it never really clicked. I mean, we show spurts of it clicking, winning series and winning games, but going on that big run, and we still have time to go on a big run and, win something ridiculous like 15, 16 games out of 17, 18, something like that. But, it's just, I always go back and I'll probably say it every week, that 20-game stretch where we just scuffled a little bit, man. And it took the air out of a lot of us for a little bit because we were all trying to figure out what the heck was going on. And, and it just kind of put a damper on the season. But, I mean, we're very talented, obviously. We're we got athleticism in center field with Denzel. I mean, we're a top 10 offense. And we got some of the most exciting players around, and Lawrence Butler, of course, Nick Kurtz, and Jacob Wilson being an all-star. So this team is primed and ready to be something to deal with here soon. And when we play good baseball and all the elements are clicking, we're a tough team to beat. And nobody wants to play us down the stretch. We're going to be playing some teams that are going to be battling to try to for playoffs and stuff like that. So we have a role playing spoiler, and I think we're taking that that kind of mindset going into the rest of the season.
Talking to Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. So with that being said, Coach, like you said, you're not mathematically out of it. I saw the same thing you saw. You'd have to get real hot. You'd have to get extremely hot, but you're not mathematically out of it. How, from a culture perspective, where are you right now and how these conversations kind of happen? Because you're not mathematically out of it. It would take a Herculean effort to get it done, but you're not in the situation where, hey, guys, let's focus on X, Y, and Z because we know that we're not going to be playing in the postseason. There's still a bit of a glimmer of hope that you could get in. So are you a bit in limbo right now?
I don't think we're in a bit limbo. I think everyone wants to go out and still win ball games, right? Yeah. And that's the key. And you hit it on the head, and I said it earlier, we're not mathematically out of it yet. Mm-hmm. So we got to go out and handle our business. And like I said a couple of minutes ago, we haven't made that big run. It's still in us. It's still in us to do it if everything clicks and everything goes and it's not out of the realm of this team doing something stupid like that, because we have put up some ridiculous stat lines and our pitching is thrown well. We've been playing good defense and everything. Those are the components of how successful we really are. Our offense is always going to be there. And, there's times when our offense wasn't there, but our pitching picked us up. So that's what it takes for a season to be successful is, not just the offense carrying and hoping that you can get some innings with your pitching. There's going to be days where the offense is cold and the pitch is going to have to pick us up. Our defense is going to have to pick us up. And we have the ability to be able to do those things.
Talking to Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. Also, Coach, you've been a hitting coach in your past as well. Kyle and I have been going back and forth about kind of the old school versus new school approach with the averages with OPS. Coach, I don't even know. Look, man, I'm old school. The WOBA, ex-WOBA. I don't know what any of this stuff means from your perspective. I saw John Heyman put out that the top 5 teams in averages are also in first place. What's the A's thought process on, I guess, the most important hitting metrics? How much do you care about average versus OPS versus slugging or anything else that these kids have cooked up these days? What's the A's approach as far as the hitting metrics and what they care about the most?
As far as metrics go, we don't really care too much about those because we want our guys swinging at the right pitches and hitting the ball hard.
Yeah.
And we're still kind of old school in that aspect of how we approach working with our hitters. Now, the other stuff will take care of itself, right? If you're swinging at good pitches, you're not going to swing at balls. You're going to take your walks. If you're hitting the ball hard on a consistent basis, you're going to hit line drives. You're going to hit home runs, which we do. But it's, we have such a young group of hitters that we got to teach them the basics. What this pitcher is doing, how to approach the zone the right way, trying to hit line drives all over the field, using the backside, using the opposite field, staying hard up the middle, all that stuff, all that old school stuff that was taught back in the day that is still relevant now. Back in the day was launch angle, this is that, get underneath the baseball, get the ball in the air. Well, that thing got exposed a few years back, and now it was kind of circling back to, being over the baseball and trying to hit line drive. So we've kind of stayed true to our roots. We use the metrics for a teaching tool, but that's not how we're going about approaching these guys and trying to teach them how to hit.
Talking to Coach Eric Martins. Coach, you can't say, well, there's too many names here, but you can't say Nick Kurtz. You can't say Jacob Wilson. And you can't say Lawrence Butler either. But for the Sacramentans out here that have been watching and trying to kind of keep their eyes on certain players and get to know certain players, and we see Lawrence Butler working a lot with Major League Baseball because he's got that great personality. Who is a name or who is a player that fans should keep an eye on just from the perspective of really exciting, maybe has a good personality? Who is a player that fans should kind of keep an eye on and try to learn more about them as we kind of move towards the end of the year?
Well, you didn't mention Brett Rooker, and he's kind of always been the quiet guy, right? So I'm not going to use him, though. I'm not going to just go out on a limb and just say, oh, Brent Rooker, because he's here to stay for a while. Right. That's a good question. I would say Max Muncy, even though he's hurt right now. We started seeing some progress with him. He's got that it factor about him. He's competitive. He's very confident. He's got some loud tools. He's steadily improving on the infield on the infield side for me. He's hit 10 home runs this year, and he's been hurt, but he's don't forget, he's a first rounder that we had a few years back too. So, and still young, 23 years old, I believe. So unfortunately, he got hurt because we were starting to see the trajectory with him, being able to play some third base, sliding over at short when Jacob got hurt, and starting to see some progress on the offensive side. So I think that's a name that everyone's got to kind of pay attention to a little bit.
Thank you. And not that one from the Dodgers, okay?
Absolutely not.
They's got their own Max Muncy. Coach Eric Martins, thank you so much for joining us as always. We believe that you can get hot, and it all starts tonight, West Sacramento. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you again soon.
Anytime, Alan. Good talking to you.
That was Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. And yeah, Kyle, I saw it was quite the stretch that they would have to go on to pull this off, but they are not mathematically out of it.
No.
You're going to have to beat the Rays, though. You will have to beat the Rays if you're going to pull it off.
Got to beat the Rays. Got to beat the Angels, which I know the Angels are in a better record position than them, but if you're going to go on a run, you have to catch the Angels. There's just no way the Angels are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And after that, hey, you'll take it one bridge at a time. Although it was kind of fun to watch this weekend. They were playing whatever the game was where they scored 11 runs or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just so fun when
they beat the Orioles 11-3.
Yeah, it's so strict because they'll have those games where they score 12 runs or something, and then we were watching the game actually against the Nationals, and Lopez went 7 innings and gave up no runs, and it's just they win about half their games. If you take out that stretch where they were 1-21, they win about half their games, maybe a little bit more than half. It's a baseball team with a really good lineup and a really below average pitching staff. And they're kind of just you got made fun of for not getting to 74.5 for your prediction at the start of the season. Look, Eric talked about it last week. If you just take out the stretch of May, they've been playing actually really good baseball. And our guy Jeremiah at the game yesterday looked it up. They have the best value hitting lineup in all of Major League Baseball this year in terms of what they're paying versus the WAR that they're coming out to. They're the most valuable lineup in all of baseball this year, and that's at least something to hang your hat on. They just need to figure out the pitching staff, but also just traded two of their best pitchers. So we'll see how it goes, but they are basically a 500 team since that 1-21 stretch.
There you go. So thank you again to Coach Eric Martins, who's been joining us throughout the season, and maybe they'll be able to pull it off and get into the postseason, because I just want to know what would happen in that situation, not to get to the politics of it, but where they would play those games would be interesting to watch.
So you saw that story a little while back that the Rays, if they were to make the playoffs, would get to play at Steinbrenner Field.
Yeah.
Which apparently I heard that because Tampa was in town and we were talking to one of their beat guys, and like they've sold out all but like 8 games this year at the Steinbrenner Field, which is a little smaller than Sutter Health Park, but it was just interesting to be like, oh, it's more convenient to get there than even their old stadium, and baseball is saying, yes, you can play playoff games there if it gets to that point. Now, granted, I don't know if Tampa's going to host any playoff games, but
you never know with them.
I think they're out of the playoffs last I checked, but it was very, very interesting to see that baseball was like, we're willing to put playoff games at a field smaller than Sutter Health Park. Maybe if the A's get there, we'll get playoff at Sutter Health Park.
Yeah, well, you got to get there first. And I think the conversation would turn into basically maybe not this year, but the way the A's are hitting, if they stay for 3 more years, there will be 1 year where this thing comes up, right? I mean, there will be.
I want to believe that, but like we talked about after the Mason Miller JP Sears trade, like their pitching staff is now even further away. It's we looked it up yesterday. They're 28th in baseball right now in pitching staff. They're even further away from getting back to competence than they were before, which is the really tough part about it. Because I mean, apart from maybe 1 or 2, their lineup is already set for next year. I mean, at least their 1 through 8 is pretty much, we know exactly who's going to be batting 1 through 8 for the A's next year. And hasn't happened in 7 years.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Getting back to the Keegan Murray talk, because a couple texts and chats came in while we were talking to Coach Eric Martins. And it's always so funny to me, right? So Brian Goodner on the chat, and shout out to the YouTube always. Brian Goodner says, stop this trade Keegan talk. Trade DeMar and Levine. FYI, Keegan, while not as athletic, his size and length makes him all around better than Ivy or Mathurin. You guys talking nonsense today. Brian, don't you think look, I'm being better now, Kyle. See, I'm taking a breather. But Brian, I don't feel, and maybe I do, that we have to caveat these conversations every single time that we bring up something different. If you were to take our show as a pie chart, we've talked about trading DeMar DeRozan probably about 80% of our offseason shows. The reason you get to a conversation about Keegan Murray, and why I've always said over and over again that I think everybody would rather trade DeMar DeRozan. But DeMar DeRozan is still on this team. And there are rumors and whispers and conversations being had that they did not shop DeMar DeRozan as hard as a lot of people thought they were going to shop DeMar DeRozan. Sam Amick has said that DeMar DeRozan does have value. He didn't say the same thing about Zach LaVine, but he did say that about DeMar DeRozan. So nobody is here trying to trade Keegan Murray instead of trading DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine. These conversations come up because of where the Kings currently are. And when we have these conversations throughout the offseason, we can try to will something into existence, but we already know where everything stands with DeMar and where everything stands with Zach LaVine. So when we have conversations about trading somebody else other than that, that's literally what it is. It's a conversation. I won't say we all, but I think 90% of us would rather trade DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine than Keegan Murray. But DeMar DeRozan is still on this team. And Zach LaVine is probably going to be on this team. He's definitely going to be on this team going into the season. Probably going to be on this team for the next 2 years. So it's never a matter. And if you listen to this show, like I said, you might listen for 4 seconds one day, 4 minutes, another day, 4 hours. I will have to reiterate this time and time again. Nobody is trying to trade Keegan Murray. All we're able to do is look at the moves that have been made. And the moves that have currently been made is Dennis Schroeder. Okay? I would love to wake up tomorrow, and this is no disrespect to DeMar or Zach LaVine. I would love to wake up tomorrow and see that the Kings have decided to develop young talent. They went out and, you know what? Screw it. They did the Terry Rozier deal. Okay? They're going to get off that money. All right? They went out. Somebody who was interested in Zach LaVine, they went and did that. Keegan is going to get an opportunity to be the first, second option for the next 2 years. I'd love to see that. But we haven't seen it. And we might not see it. So if we're not going to see it, I don't believe you can continue, or I don't believe it is a smart use of anybody's time, including Keegan Murray, to have him as a fourth-ish option to just be grenade man and sit in the corner. So do not confuse these conversations that we have for me, quote unquote, because I saw it on the text line too, wanting to move someone. All I want is for the Kings to be successful or to have some sort of direction. And they do not have that right now. And they have not been successful. I guess relatively speaking, they've been more successful. But as it stands right now, Keegan Murray is fighting to be the third option. And that doesn't make a ton of sense to me for him to be your young guy on the team. It made sense for Michael Porter Jr. because those teams were going on deep playoff runs. It makes sense for Jabari Smith Jr. because those teams are going on deep playoff runs. For Keegan Murray, a team that's slated to win 35, 36 games, that does not make a lot of sense to me. And if you're not going to move on from DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine, or you can't do it in the near future, then you have to look at what else is out there. That's just the reality. That's just the reality of it. That's all it is. That's all it is. We are looking for ways for the Kings to get better. And you can't cut one thing off, especially if you're not going to put that person in a position to succeed and get to the next level. That's all. That's all it is. 916-339-1140. What should the Kings do to put Keegan Murray in the best position? So yesterday we talked about how the Zoom gate, right? Zoom call gate, and how Chris Watkins and I, we were having some lunch together as free agency kicked off, and our phones started going off because the Kings are interested in Dennis Schroeder. There is going to be a deal. And then all of a sudden, there was a Zoom call. And we were trying to confirm, as I remembered, that the Zoom call was for Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook to be on the same team. At that time, I believe the Kings thought that Malik Monk was going to be going to Detroit. Now that that's fallen through, certain things have popped up as far as Kuminga and other rumblings, if you will, but Malik Monk is still on this basketball team. So here it is, Kyle. This was at 3:04 p.m., June 30th.
So 4 minutes after free agency opened.
What? Like I told, this happened quickly with Malik. Very quickly. 1.1 million views for Chris Haynes. Sources: Sacramento Kings have arranged meetings via Zoom to talk with Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook. Kings looking to acquire both, but have other point guard options to speak with. Well, clearly, that last part, that I don't know if that actually happened or not, because Dennis Schroeder, we heard nothing else.
Well, no, they arranged a meeting with Campaign's agent because he kept calling them over and over again.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what the other situations were going to be because nothing came up besides Campaign calling people. Campaign just, hey, call every team possible.
And that 1 week of Ben Simmons.
That's right.
That 1 week of Ben Simmons rumors.
That's right. But
Dave had to squash.
There were no conversations about Tyus Jones. No conversations about his brother. Nothing with any of the guys that we had really had conversations about. It was just Dennis Schroeder and whether or not and that went on for, it felt longer than I probably imagined, but it went on for at least a week. I think maybe more than that.
I think we knew that it was announced pretty quickly that he was going to sign. It was just a matter of whether or not it was going to be a sign and trade or a straight up mid-level exception and all that stuff. Because I remember I was doing Dave's show that week, and it broke, I think, right before you went on the air, on I want to say that Tuesday, that they were going to sign Dennis Schroeder, but that we weren't sure exactly how the deal was going to get done for like a week. But we now know that was because they were trying to negotiate that Kuminga sign and trade that and never ended up happening. But people were telling us was going to be done by the weekend.
So now that we know what was said at that time, and we actually don't even know, do we actually have confirmation that the Zoom call happened? I don't know if we even know if the Zoom call happened.
I think we're just too fixated on the Zoom call.
I am because it's just so Kingsy. When else have you heard about a Zoom call with people?
Yeah.
Who does that?
I mean, they must have been talking to the agents before, because, like...
Who does that, Kyle? Please.
This is Chris Haynes, and you've been briefed.
Go find me somewhere another situation
at least
where a Zoom call was brought up.
At least they didn't announce it, right?
With 2 point guards. Hey, guys, this is what we're thinking. Who does that?
I can't... Okay, whatever. I can't, Schroeder, fine. I can't even, StatMuse had graphics with Schroeder on the Kings before free agency even started.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Russell Westbrook joining us. You have his phone number. Just call him. What are we doing? Zoom so that Doug can be on it, so that his agent can join? Why are we doing a Zoom meeting?
Hey, guys, just wanted to have you both on. This is what we're thinking. Dennis, we want to bring both of you guys in. Dennis Schroeder, you're going to be the starter. Russell, we're going to try to get you to 25 minutes. This
is also less relevant, but do we think they paid the $15 a month for Zoom Premium, or was it we only have 40 minutes, so we got to do both of them at the same time?
How many plane tickets sold? I think it was packed out, so I think they're good. I'm just not really sure why both of them need to be on the call. I understand.
I don't think both of them were on the call.
No, I don't think there was a call. I don't think there was a call.
I think it was 2 separate Zoom meetings. I don't think they were both on the same Zoom meeting.
I'd like to believe that they were, though.
I do too. And look, Chris Haynes leaves it ambiguous enough for us to believe it.
This is Chris Haynes. And you've been briefed.
I just can't imagine they're going to have both of them on the same Zoom meeting and not leave with a contract for both of them. Because what happens now if Westbrook comes in? Right? It took 3 months for Westbrook to get his contract, but Schroeder, it was 24 hours later. I mean, come on. There's no way.
So they were supposed to have meetings. I think the meetings probably happened. Whether they were together or not, they probably weren't. But it's in my mind, it would be much funnier if they were. When we return, speaking of Westbrook, who might be the most interested party when it comes to Russell Westbrook? Is it Scott Perry, Doug Christie, and don't let the power go out, Vivek Ranadive? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Labor Day savings are on at Elk Grove Chevy with $10,500 off MSRP. Every new 2025 Silverado 1500 5.3 liter after all rebates. And Elk Grove Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,500 off new Silverado exclusively at the Elk Grove Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MegaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Excludes work parking ZR2 not trading 2011 Chevy car truck. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Made a great deal at Meda.
Around here, the summer can smack you silly, especially if your AC is not functioning at a high level. Whitey Gleason here. I had the opposite problem over the winter. System went down. It was panic time, but Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating saved the day. Let them save you from unnecessary summer misery. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, reliable, trustworthy. They do great work. They won awards for their service. Check the reviews at leesair.com. Find out about their $99 HVAC tune-up service. Save your summer now. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating on the web at leesair.com. License number 635355.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Cash, Vincent Mason, and Avriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity, introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, the accolades keep coming in for A's first baseman Nick Kurtz. Based on batting almost 400 with a slugging percentage of nearly 1,000 in July, he becomes the 10th player to be named Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same calendar month, joining the likes of Buster Posey, Mike Trout, and Aaron Judge.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge?
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Nine 339-1140, taking you up to 2 p.m. Hope I don't get in trouble for this one. And if I do, I'm going to blame it on one Whitey Gleason. During our crosstalk, which you can hear at the end of nearly every show, unless they're on some golf course, which they tend to be, the Drive Guys, Whitey Gleason, Cal Draper, Jay Johnson. Whitey, it almost was Inception, right? Remember in Inception when they have to put the idea in his head in order for, whatever the plot was, they got to put this idea in his head. He's got to think about it on his own.
Yeah, that was called Inception.
Right. Through the dreams, all of that. It's almost like Whitey did this to me yesterday because he knows I can't help myself.
Planted the idea deep in.
Exactly. And yesterday during crosstalk, Whitey says to me, because I say, hey, I think that this is a Scott Perry initiative because Russell Westbrook seems very much like a Scott Perry guy. And honestly, I didn't think about really who else's initiative it could be. Whitey Gleason essentially said it without saying it. When you look at some of the other moves that have been made, when you look at some of the other initiatives that we've seen in the past, the types of people that we've seen, the types of players that we've seen the Kings interested in, maybe this is a bit beyond Scott Perry. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We will probably find that out at some point because everything tends to come out these days. But Whitey kind of threw it to me, let my brain do its thing that it tends to do.
Inception.
And now, I'm kind of in the camp of maybe this is a Vivek thing. Is this the first Vivek thing of the Scott Perry initiative? Let's think about it, right? It's a big name. We know he likes big names. We know he kind of doesn't care if certain things make sense from a roster perspective. Those are things that kind of fit with this Russell Westbrook conversation. Now, is that how it's going to go? And are they going to bring him in regardless? As I mentioned in the first segment, and this is a reason to essentially not believe that it is an owner initiative and it is a GM initiative, because Carmichael Dave says yesterday in a quote tweet from E-Train Talk Sports, E-Train, 14-year-old aspiring journalist who covers the NBA. His name is Ethan. Go check him out on social media. He's doing some great stuff. Ethan says, if the Sacramento Kings don't trade for Jonathan Kuminga, I don't think they will sign Russell Westbrook. They've been connected to him for months, but signing Russ doesn't make much sense given the current state of the Kings roster, ... Carmichael Dave quote tweets it and says, you're almost certainly correct. While getting Kuminga doesn't guarantee Russ, not having an outgoing guard all but eliminates Russ on the Kings. So that got me off of the owner initiative inception thought process. And I said, okay, that again sounds like a GM move, right? If we don't get this, then we're not going to be able to do it. The other thing that it brought up to me is that, and Tim McMahon is the latest to bring up Russell Westbrook to the Kings. The other thing that kind of triggered in me is that this Kuminga thing might not necessarily be done. Now, I'm not going to spend time on it because nothing has necessarily changed, right? We are going to talk about how the qualifying offer could help or hurt the Kings, specifically in this upcoming season. So we are going to have some conversations there. But the fact that the Westbrook thing, according to Dave, is so connected to the Kuminga thing, but the Westbrook thing is not going away, kind of makes me feel like this Kuminga thing isn't dead in the water yet. I don't know how they would get it done, and each and every day it sounds like the Kuminga's camp is headed closer to signing the qualifying offer, and I would just assume now, and we'll talk about it, but I would assume that he's going to have a no trade clause in that situation, so he can just say, I'm saying no to everyone. I don't want anybody to have any version of control. I just want to go straight into unrestricted free agency, which is what Cam Thomas is looking to do as well. So we'll have that conversation. But it does make me wonder if this Kuminga thing is completely done, because I would assume, I believe, I know that Carmichael Dave is talking to basically as close as you can get in the Kings organization. All right. I do know that. So either the Tim McMahons of the world and those that are kind of national media that may not be as fully locked in or as close to the situation as our local guys, either they're kind of a step behind us, or this Kuminga thing is not necessarily dead in the water. That's what I take from Dave's posts here, because Russell Westbrook, and by the way, to the Westbrook fans that have been kind of trolling me on social media, we still don't have another team, by the way. We still do not have another Russell Westbrook team. Even Tim McMahon's story didn't even have another team. It's just Sacramento is the most likely. Not a one. And if they've told that, I'm assuming they've told that to Russell Westbrook. As of right now, there's no Kuminga deal. So if Russell Westbrook had other options, now seems like about the time to lock in on some of those other options. So I don't think that he has very many. Or he really, really wants to come home to Sacramento and is waiting until this Kuminga thing gets resolved just in case, which is, I would say, very less likely than the first option. Yeah. So I don't know why he would be waiting this much. And again, if it's Devin Carter, that helps nothing. That helps absolutely nothing. If we're
operating in a world where they only have the same 9-man rotation. Because I will say injuries happen. That's how Russell Westbrook made a lot of minutes down the stretch for the Denver Nuggets last year that may or may not have gotten Michael Malone fired. So injuries do provide opportunity, and you want to have a deep bench, but Russell Westbrook's also got to be okay with going 9 minutes a night or 8 minutes a night at times, if that's going to happen.
To that point, though, do you think that Russell Westbrook really doesn't want to leave California, which we do know for a fact?
The Westbrook fans are saying he really doesn't want to leave California.
That's right. They
basically
said, well, Chris Paul's old and he doesn't want to leave California. Russell Westbrook's old. He must not want to leave California either.
Yeah. Again, that's not... No, let's be careful. No one's confirmed that. The Westbrook people are just yelling at you that he doesn't want to leave California.
The Westbrook people told me he turned down the Knicks, the Bucks. He's turned down all these teams because he's staying on the West Coast.
Yes. Again, let's not. I know your inception brain is getting warped right now, but let's not forget. Let's come back to reality. That is not true.
So, with that being said, now, right? If you're Russell Westbrook, do you simply wait and see what happens throughout the season? And, for example, DeJounte Murray, right? With the Pelicans, if what happened last season happened this season and Russell Westbrook was just chilling, just waiting, which is kind of messed up. I'm just going to wait for somebody to get injured, but it is what it is. I'm just going to wait. DeJounte Murray pops his Achilles and the Pelicans say, fine, we'll bring in Russell Westbrook. And he would have played a lot of minutes for Russell Westbrook, but it was on a bad team. So I'm just not really sure. Very similar to what I don't know what the Kings are actually attempting to do. I don't really know what Russell Westbrook wants at this point in time.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do the Jay Crowder thing, right? Jay Crowder.
No, I don't either.
Jay Crowder had gotten to a point in his career where he was good. This is the problem that Melo ran into years ago. I think I see so many similarities between the Melo at the end and the Russell Westbrook at the end. Remember Melo sat out an entire season and then did like a one-on-one with Stephen A. Smith on First Take talking about like, I've finally decided that I will be okay coming off the bench and playing a role. Like just one of the most insane things I've ever seen on television. But Melo was comfortable sitting out an entire season just to eventually get back in the league. I'm not saying Russell Westbrook would do that, but right now it looks like it's either the Sacramento Kings, if they're able to move Malik Monk, or the Beijing Ducks, where he can go play 28 minutes a night and sell out an arena.
I don't think he would do that.
It's either that or don't play at all and go be in Hollywood and executive produce that Bel Air show on
But
Peacock.
It is, I don't know. No. But I don't think those are the only options, though. I think that, it's probably a little bit of Cam Newton-ness, right? When we can't have the backup QB have all this attention, or we just don't necessarily want to deal with it. But I think that Russell Westbrook, to the point of his fans that won't leave me alone, he probably does have options to just be a spot starter a la a Chris Paul type. I just don't know that he wants that. So he could change his mind. And if you're Russell Westbrook, would you rather do that or go to Beijing?
I mean,
if he wants to, if his fans are right at all, he don't want to go to the East Coast. He definitely don't want to go to Beijing.
That's kind of my thought, is like, will he evolve at this point? I can't remember what they were talking about with Ben Simmons, but it's like every year a new crop of 20 to 40 rookies come into the league for those 350 spots, and it pushes some of them younger, but it pushes 20 to 40 of those people out of the league, and Westbrook appears to be on that bubble right now. So what's going to happen next year? Like, if this year he's going to have to evolve, what's going to happen next year when there's a new batch of 20 to 40 rookies coming in? I mean, is this going to be the end of Russell Westbrook's career one way or another? And if so, Does he want it to end play again, like we talked about, 10 minutes, the thing that got the Westbrook people on you? Does he want to end it playing 15 minutes a night in Sacramento? Normally the worst way to end your career.
What's worse? Ending it, like you said,
15 minutes a game.
Being a mentor in Sacramento.
Mentor to who? Dennis Schroeder's 32.
You're a mentor to Devin Carter. You're a mentor to Devin Carter.
Okay.
You are a mentor to Devin Carter, Keon, whoever combo guard he likes the best, or you go to Beijing. Like, what's the worst? What is a worse way to end it? And then the Kings, you are mentor on a 35-win team or Beijing.
If you go to Beijing, I will say, A, you're probably going to make a lot of money. And B, if you play it right, Stephon Marbury is still out here selling shoes in China.
But I do feel like there is a level, and we're kind of losing the plot here. But
let's hope the Westbrook people don't find this one.
But I do no. I'm not saying this because I do feel like there is a level of, hey, I never had to go to Beijing, right? I never had to. I never had to go over. I played in the NBA for my whole career. Now, I don't know where Westbrook falls, and some players don't care. Obviously, you got the Dwight Howards of the world. But Carmelo Anthony, that brother didn't want to come off the bench. He's not going. Carmelo just started a pot. He was not going to go overseas.
Melo sat out a whole season, and
yes.
I think even part of another season because he didn't want to go do the China thing, which again, Westbrook, what do you want to do with your post-playing career? Yeah. That's the question you should be asking yourself now. Like, let's not
He wants to dance. He wants to dance when Kendrick is in town.
And live in Los Angeles and make Bel Air, which I always see he's an executive producer for. So weird.
And it's a great show, by the way. 916-339-1140. Does the Westbrook interest worry you that ownership is a part of the basketball conversations? 916-339-1140. We got some 2K ratings to complain about if you're into it. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that, or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Seems like back to school happens earlier each year.
First day of school coming in hot.
And this year, my kids had massive supply lists.
Folders, notebooks, and pens. Oh, the humanity.
But Staples had everything I needed, with some items just 25 cents.
Watch the small print.
No. My back to school budget was saved by Staples Easy Button.
Everything for school, in stock and as low as 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. NC 23 while supplies last.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Americans may not agree on much, but we agree on Social Security. We all pay in. It ought to be there when we need it. Social Security could face a funding gap in less than a decade, and I don't want to see a pay cut. I'm with AARP in the fight to protect the Social Security we earned.
Pledge to protect Social Security at aarp.org/weearnedit. That's aarp.org/weearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Are you thinking about buying a new car? Well, maybe you're on the fence. Let me help you out. Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the first time I stepped into the MP of Stockton showroom, I knew I made the right choice. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV. It's comfortable, stylish, and most importantly, it's safe. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. It's just a short drive down I-5 or anytime at mbfstockton.com.
High Voltage Live boxing action returns to the venue on September 6th as Uppercut Promotions presents 6 big fights featuring undefeated fighters. Thunder Showdown September 6th at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Tickets at Ticketmaster. Fight cards subject to change.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. and we have some 2K ratings. Okay, some 2K ratings to get to. We also have some schedule updates we're going to break down. And how many people, I mean, I know the NFL is one thing, but I don't know, man. I'm just a little too cynical when it comes to this stuff. Oh, by the way, I just saw this come through from my guy, Michael Scotto.
When it breaks.
No, please. The Denver Nuggets and forward Kessler Edwards have agreed to a deal. League sources told Hoops Hype. Edwards averaged 4.2 points on 49.6% shooting from field and 40.7% from three-point range in 40 games, including 18 starts for the Dallas Mavericks last season. Let us not forget when Kessler Edwards was a center for about 10 games, a starting center for about 10 games.
Yeah, while on a two-way contract.
Wow.
Back when the Dallas Mavericks were maybe going to forfeit games.
So help me out here. Kessler Edwards, he is too far gone for G League. He's just going to ride Pine.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of what he did on the Beam team for the second half of the season. You weren't here for that, but I will never forget the Beam team season. They were, I can't remember if it was the third or the second seed at that point, but the trade deadline rolled around and everyone was like, the Kings are going to make a move. And that move was trading for Kessler Edwards.
Yeah, no, I trust me.
Kessler Edwards, who started 3 games on the Beam team. People will not remember that, but I will always make sure people know Kessler Edwards, beloved Beam team member, started 3 games on the best team of my lifetime for the Sacramento Kings.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, you're looking here, and he's not going to be he's not going to be in the small forward conversation, but there's Aaron Gordon. You got Aaron Gordon, Peyton Watson, and after that, Vlatko Konchar. And some of this hasn't even updated yet. But Aaron Gordon, he could battle with Peyton Watson.
No.
He could battle.
Peyton Watson was in commercials with Jokic. There's no way.
Here's a better one, though. Oh, again, yeah, they don't have Valanciunas in here yet. But Jokic, they have for second string on ESPN.com. The depth chart, it's not updated yet. Their depth chart at center, Jokic, then Aaron Gordon. They just
sure.
Hey, shout out Kessler. He's gonna get an opportunity. He's gonna get an opportunity to get a ring at least.
Yeah. So looking at a different website that is updated, it looks like small forward, they've got Cam Johnson and Bruce Brown. Power forward, they've got Gordon, Watson, and Deron Holmes. And then at center, they've got Jokic, Valanciunas, and Zeke Naji, who they hate so much but can't get rid of.
Yeah, Deron Holmes tore his Achilles, but I think that, they're pretty high on him. So there's a reason they brought in Kessler Edwards, but I think he's just going to...
He's going to be competing with Hunter Tyson, who's another one of those former Calvin Booth draft picks who you just think are all garbage and none of them deserve to exist.
Well, just Brown. Brown is good, and the rest of them...
Brown is good. Everyone else, just garbage.
Yeah, just
Peyton Watson, Hunter Tyson, Strother, Pickett. You just hate all of them.
Oh, my goodness. It's just, what are we doing?
You just think they're all hot garbage.
I think Kessler Edwards probably going to get time with those trash bins that they got out there.
Yeah, Deron Holmes, Peyton Watson.
Look, I don't know if Deron Holmes is bad or not.
Hunter Tyson.
I haven't seen him play. But the rest of them are bad.
I mean, based on reputation, you just think any draft pick other than Christian Braun is just hot garbage.
That's right. So that is what Kessler Edwards is up to. He's going to get an opportunity to see some playoff basketball at the very least. Okay, for all of the gamers out there, we have some 2K ratings that are out. 4 Kings players in the top 100, all right? 4 Kings players in the top 100. And here we go. At number 100 on this list, literally number 100, Malik Monk. So you have Malik Monk at number 100. That's his rating on NBA 2K.
I guess we should clarify. He is the 100th highest ranked player.
The first, yes, he is.
Malik Monk is not a 100 on 2K.
Yes, he is the 100th ranked player. All right. The 43rd ranked player is one DeMar DeRozan. The number 36 player is Zach LaVine.
36? That's really high.
I'm telling you, man. Domantas Sabonis is 33.
We have the meat.
Sorry, I had to reset the fiend.
Domantas Sabonis is sitting at 33. So this is the type of stuff that makes you think. So again, obviously no Keegan Murray. Let's see where Keegan is at. But this is the type of stuff that makes you think, I mean, the Kings, why isn't it working, right? I mean, they're not that bad. I know it's 2K, but 2K, their whole calling card now is trying to make it closer to reality, right? They have Keegan Murray at an 81 overall. To give you some context, Malik Monk is at 83 overall. Dennis Schroeder is tied with Keon Ellis. They are both 78s overall. Oh, my goodness. I
mean, didn't we say that, though? Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis are both
gotta be
fringe starters.
80, Dennis Schroeder.
Fringe starter.
78 is...
Fringe starters, both of them.
Dennis Schroeder, they call him a 3-level scoring playmaker. They also call that to Domantas Sabonis, so now NBA 2K has lost all credibility in my book.
Also, NBA 2K in recent years has gone to the we're going to give everyone higher note. Like, they kind of do dunk contest rules now where it's like nobody's lower than a 70 at this point. So
yeah,
78 doesn't make you feel great.
Devin Carter is a 74, just to your point, Kyle. And I'm not saying he should be lower. I'm just saying that's pretty much where you're at.
Back in my day, there were some 52s on NBA 2K.
Keegan Murray, they have him at a 83 for 3-pointers. Okay, this is obviously all out of 100. DeMar DeRozan is at 87 overall. They give him a 77 for three-pointer and an 80 for dunking. Okay. DeMar DeRozan is an 80 for dunking. Domantas Sabonis is a 75 for dunking. How does that work?
Say that again? I'm confused now.
Driving dunk. Their driving dunk rating, DeMar DeRozan is an 80. Domantas Sabonis is a 75.
Because Domantas Sabonis always just clutches and then pump fakes.
He dunks on some people, though.
He doesn't dunk on people. He dunks when there is nobody there.
DeMar doesn't.
DeMar does not. But DeMar used to be a crazy dunker, and then his knees got shot. But he used to be he was in a dunk contest.
Yeah, that
at
was
one
like
point.
10 years ago.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying they're just giving him, props for what he used to be.
Dennis Schroeder is a 45 dunk rating.
So a lot of I guess we could look it up later, but I wonder what Steph Curry's dunk rating is.
It's probably better than Dennis Schroeder. 45. That's basically asking, can you dunk?
Yeah, it's got to be. Even if you miss a dunk in the dunk contest, they won't give you a 45.
Malik Monk, 83 overall and 80 as far as his three-pointer. Oh, this is actually insane now. Because like I said, I don't play them games, but I literally just don't game. How in God's name do Malik Monk and DeMar DeRozan have the same driving dunk score? They both have 80. That's actually incredible.
Huh. Maybe they just overvaluing DeRozan.
Yeah, they got him at an 87. Malik Monk's at an 83. Domantas Sabonis is at an 88. He's at an 83 for his 3-point score.
Wait, so he's got a higher, well, I guess he did shoot 44%. He just doesn't shoot enough.
Yeah, he just shoots them like free throws. And Zach LaVine is an 88 overall as well. 87 3-point score and a 94 dunk score.
Okay, so NBA 2K says Zach LaVine not appreciated enough.
Yeah.
Maybe not worth $47 million a year, but they're saying we're not respecting Zach LaVine's game enough.
I can't get over the Malik Monk DeMar DeRozan thing. More when we return. 12 o'clock hour coming up next. Should the Kings be rooting for Kuminga to take the qualifying offer, or does that put them in a competition with a bunch of other teams? And more 2K coming up. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Shake your body dry on a coastline.
Zach Bryan, live in concert. This Friday night, Golden Gate Park.
Baptize me in a bottle of beer with
With Kings of Leon, Turnpike Troubadours, and Nolene Hoffman.
Oh, my revival.
Zach Bryan. Tickets are on sale now at GoldenGateParkConcerts.com. Brought to you by your friends at Another Planet Entertainment.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland, and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Great conditions, a fun layout, and unbeatable value. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines are Sacramento's #1 rated golf destination. With 27 holes, a spacious practice facility, and professional instruction, there's always a way to improve your game. Planning a tournament or corporate event, they offer customizable packages and award-winning catering to make your event effortless. Timber Creek is easy to find in Roseville, but hard to forget. Book your round today at timbercreekgc.com or call 916-774-3851.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local, but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton and Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Trying to make as many connections as possible as to why people keep telling us what we already know. What we already know. Why does the Russell Westbrook conversation keep coming up? Why does it keep coming up? By the way, we need to look up, because he's not on a team, what Russell Westbrook's 2K rating is. I got to figure out how to look that up, Kyle.
Yeah, I was trying to find out where you were getting all these 2K ratings from, because I didn't know they sorted them by...
It's 2KRatings.com.
2KRatings.com?
Russell Westbrook, they have Russell Westbrook. See, this is what's so interesting and why fit obviously matters. Russell Westbrook is an 82 overall. They have him as an 82 overall, man, which is, if I'm
better
not
than
mistaken, I was going to say better than Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, I guess they give bonus points to veterans, it seems like, in this NBA 2K thing. By the way, I just pulled up the doesn't sound real website, 2KRatings.com. And one of the things they just have popping up here is top 3-point shooters in the league. And guess who ended up 7th on that list? Mr. Zach LaVine.
Yes, sir.
Apparently the 7th best 3-point shooter in the NBA.
Yes, sir.
Apparently Anthony Edwards is the same as him, so cool.
I mean, this is the conversation where it's, hey, we're not that far away. We just need one or two things to fit. And that leads us right back into this conversation. What are those one or two things that could fit? And a name that maybe you've heard us bring up before, maybe not, in Jonathan Kuminga.
Never heard of him.
It was reported yesterday from Anthony Slater that he's still holding on to I'm talking about Jonathan Kuminga. He's still holding on to the idea. Here it is. Jonathan Kuminga has continued to indicate to those around him that the qualifying offer path has more appeal to him than the 1+1 offer that the Warriors put on the table. So with that being said, if Kuminga plans to accept the qualifying offer, he would get a full no trade clause. In that scenario, he would basically be in a position to dictate the terms of his trade and more than likely just say, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to sit if you want to sit me and get through this season and then test free agency, which means the Warriors will probably just say uncle first and trade him where he wants to go, whether that's the Kings or not necessarily where he wants to go, but to a team where there's an offer that they at least like a little bit, or they eat it and run the risk of losing him for nothing. So if you're a Kings fan, you don't actually want him to sign the qualifying offer, but you want him to keep telling the Warriors that that's what he's going to do, because that gives him ultimate control. And, I see a lot of Warrior fans saying, well, he's going to tank his value. He's going to go into free agency. I just think he doesn't care. I just think he would prefer to do that rather than, because he could waive we were just talking about this during the break. He could waive the trade clause. Let's say the Kings are interested. He could waive the trade clause, but since he's only once worth $7 million, there'd be a conversation about guys that don't make a lot of money, or the Kings would have to do what it would be Devin Carter and a pick, something like that, to get him back. And then I guess they could extend him, the Kings could, and he would be on that contract. But if you're Jonathan Kuminga, why bother? Why bother with that?
And in theory, it would be a lot easier for other teams to trade for him if he's only making $7.9 million.
Yes.
But he would have to approve a trade to wherever he's going. So,
which he could just say no to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think he wants to go to Sacramento right now, but what again, I don't know for sure, but just kind of reading the tea leaves on the situation, it's not so much wanting to go to Sacramento as wanting the situation that Sacramento is providing.
Right.
If he got to a point where more teams were in the bidding, I feel like he'd be like, actually, Sacramento, I would like to go play for this team more than Sacramento.
Right.
You're just my best option right now.
Yes. And you have, obviously, if he were to accept a trade, a lot more teams would be in the mix because they would get that $7 million, whatever. Then they could extend him. If he got to free agency, now it's a conversation about salary caps. Whereas with the trade, it's a little bit easier because you're swapping salaries. So the reality is, if you are a Kings fan that wants Kuminga, you want him to keep saying he's going to sign it, but I don't think you actually want him to sign it.
No, you want him. If you're a Kings fan who wants Jonathan Kuminga for Malik Monk and the lottery protected draft pick, or maybe they compromise a little bit on the protections, but not like dramatically. Like we're saying top 10 protected, maybe at most.
Yeah.
If you want that, you are rooting for him to threaten up until the October 1st deadline to continue threatening to sign the qualifying offer, have his agent go so far as to tell the Warriors, we are going to sign the qualifying offer if he does not get traded by October 1st. Because if you're a Kings fan, that is your leverage to force the Warriors to say, because by taking the qualifying offer, he'd be giving up a lot of money, but he would be taking back control of the situation. And so in theory, the Warriors will never get a better offer that he approves of than the Monk for the Monk and the pick, right? So your hope is that they threaten to take the qualifying offer all the way up until October 1st, and then the Warriors just say, okay, you win. We don't want you to take the qualifying offer. We'll send you to Sacramento because we're not going to get a better offer with you on the qualifying offer than Malik Monk and the pick.
Which is why this all connects back to what has been said about Russell Westbrook and why the conversation hasn't stopped. Carmichael Dave saying essentially that if you don't move one of the guards, Russell Westbrook isn't going to be a member of the Sacramento Kings. But we keep hearing his name. He has not moved with any other team, right? We have not heard any other rumors. So if we're reading everything that's going on and reading the situation, I think it is safe to say that the Sacramento Kings do believe that that's going to be the case, or at least they hope that's going to be the case, that Jonathan Kuminga will continue to say, I'm going to sign that qualifying offer. And at the buzzer, right, the Golden State Warriors will say, all right, well, we can't afford to lose him for nothing. And Malik Monk and a protected pick, that's better. That's much, much better than nothing. So let's go ahead, do the deal, be done with it. And then because Malik Monk is now gone, Russell Westbrook joins the Kings. And it's a very, very fascinating training camp that's about to pop off. But to me, that is the main reason this Russell Westbrook stuff hasn't gone away, because the Warriors, it's a couple different games of chicken going on. The Warriors are calling chicken with Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga is calling chicken with the Warriors, and the Kings are also calling chicken with the Warriors, where they do not believe that the Warriors are truly, truly willing to sign or to let Jonathan Kuminga sign the qualifying offer and give him all that control during the season with the no trade clause, and ultimately most likely lose him in free agency. Go ahead, take Malik Monk. Lord knows you need the playmaking at that position, and you'll get a pick for, the future when Steph is gone. That is why I think we are stuck in this limbo right here, and why Russell Westbrook has not We haven't heard anything else with Russell Westbrook. It's got to be why.
Yeah, same reason why you haven't heard anything on Al Horford. Same reason you haven't heard anything on DeAnthony Melton. It's like, yeah, those players intend to be on the team that they're connected to. Russell Westbrook intends to be on the Sacramento Kings if the Sacramento Kings will have him. And in order to do that, they have to move one of the guards, in this scenario, ideally for Jonathan Kuminga. And I guess I should also preface, like, I don't think the Warriors should blink in that situation. I think having him on the qualifying offer and risking losing him in free agency for nothing is not the worst strategy in the world if you're Golden State.
Because well, number one, let's not forget, this is still a season where they're going for it all.
Yes.
So I will say, because I was going to say you're doing the Paul George thing, right, with the Clippers, but I don't know that the Warriors can just afford to waste a roster spot.
I wouldn't even say waste a roster spot. I think they plan to play him just in the same role as last year once Jimmy got there.
That is so awkward.
Well, but that's the other thing is, if you're willing to stomach the messiness, I think from a basketball strategy standpoint, the Warriors should at least be open to him taking the qualifying offer, right? If they really don't, if their goal is flexibility, in 2027, nobody's going to be on the roster. We can blow this thing up if we want. If their goal is flexibility, then I understand why they don't want Malik Monk at 3 years and $54 million, even if they don't think Malik is going to finish that contract. I understand why they don't want to just take on Malik Monk and move Buddy Hield or Moses Moody to have to make it work. But if they do blink, and if they do say, okay, you win, we're not going to keep this going any longer, then I think they have to just take the Sacramento offer, because they would, A, it's the only one on the table, and B, they'd be making the conclusion, we're not going to get anything better than this. His value is only going to drop from here if he takes the qualifying offer. That's why they're proposing a tradable contract to him at the, $23 million and a team option. Is that it's like, oh, it's going to be really easy to trade you for a $30 million player who's going to slot in as a starting 2 or something like that.
The other teams that were involved, we know the Suns, they don't have the juice. The Bulls thing has been weird. I'm not even the multiple Bulls things, but I'm not even talking about the Giddey situation. I'm more so talking about the Ayo Dosunmu stuff that just popped up for a hot second.
I think Brett Siegel said they were hoping Chicago would come to the table for that.
So it's not as if they even have that much to choose from. Here is the argument, or here is the conversation or debate when it comes to what you just said. Who helps you more? Right? Obviously, the pick doesn't help you now. That's for when Steph is, we think Steph will be gone. Maybe he's a vampire. He'll just play forever.
Or you can use it to trade for something else.
Right. Who helps you more? Malik Monk or an upset, annoyed, ticked off, disgruntled Jonathan Kuminga? Because I am more focused. And there's a whole thing about Warriors fans versus quote unquote Steph fans milking everything that Steph brings to the table. And I'm not just saying that because I'm out here in Sacramento now. I'm not just saying this because I'm out here in Sacramento now. I don't see how Jonathan Kuminga, with his current mindset in that locker room, helps you more than Malik Monk. A motivated Malik Monk who would have just been traded from the Sacramento Kings to the Golden State Warriors. Essentially a rivalry as far as I'm concerned. There is no way that Jonathan Kuminga in this situation helps you more than Malik Monk.
Yeah, and I guess the other part of it too is right. They don't want to trade Buddy Hield or Moses Moody.
That's true.
But they don't have to just give those guys away. They can get a cheaper player in return. I'm not saying it's going to be Haywood Highsmith, but they could go get the Haywood Highsmiths of the world who only make $4 million and slot them in to replace one of those guys as a cheaper, probably not as good option. But then again, with DeAnthony Melton and Al Horford and GP2 and all those guys coming back, maybe you don't, like, someone's going to get cut from that rotation, right?
Yeah.
Either Buddy, Moody, GP2, Melton, Horford, like not all those guys are going to be able to play, right? So in theory, someone's going to have to get cut from the rotation anyways. But I understand the hesitancy with that. To your point, yeah, disgruntled Kuminga, who now you can't trade because he has a full no trade clause on the qualifying offer, and Buddy or Moody maybe doesn't help you in the short term as much as Malik Monk does. But what's tough is that the Warriors just seem so dead set on flexibility come 2027 for whatever their reasons are. They just seem dead set on doing that. And if that's their game plan, then you don't care about Kuminga leaving in free agency because you were planning on him being a free agent in 2027 anyways.
Yeah, it's a good point. And they don't care. And at that point, they just don't care about optics. They don't care about optics. They don't care that they tricked off a really, really good situation. At least they won one in 2022. And that just kind of is what it is.
But I also don't know what the end game is for that. Like, why do they want to prioritize that flexibility so much? Are they not sure? Do they think Steph is going to retire? Do they think Giannis is going to come? Like,
yeah, I mean, Steph could be slowing down, or, Steph is slowing down to a certain degree. And, I don't know. I
don't know. But I'm saying all their indications from what we're hearing are that they want to prioritize flexibility for whatever their reasons are. If they want to do that, then I understand it's not the worst thing in the world to just, again, optics aside, messiness aside, to just bring Kuminga back, let him sit, and then go.
I still think you're sacrificing a year that you don't have the I don't think they have the luxury of sacrificing this year, and I don't think that bringing Jonathan Kuminga back in whatever role
in Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler's locker room.
I just don't think it's worth it. I just ultimately don't think it's worth it. So that's kind of where that falls. If you're the Kings, you like everything that you're hearing. And if the Warriors want to let them walk for nothing, hey, you'll have an opportunity. You can try to move some things around and put yourself in a position to grab him as a free agent. Because that's the other thing. If you look at the cap space perspective, I don't know how easily the Kings would be able to acquire him in free agency. So that also turns into, and I know that Sam Amick said it's deeper than the just removing the protections from the pick. But if you really want Jonathan Kuminga, this is for sure your best shot.
Yeah, I would say, if, again, reading the tea leaves, if they don't get Kuminga by October 1st, whether he signs the team option or not, if they don't get Kuminga by October 1st, they're probably not going to get Kuminga. Unless Jonathan just really wants to play for the Kings, which it doesn't seem like he wants that. It seems like he wants the situation, but I don't think he's like, Sacramento is the place I want to be kind of situation. Yeah. So that's why I think they don't want him to actually sign the qualifying offer. They just want him to threaten to do it all the way up until the Warriors blink and just take the offer that's on the table. Because if he signs either the 2-year $45 million with a team option or the qualifying offer, I think Sacramento's chances of landing him just fall off dramatically.
Yeah, the 916 from Scott has a couple texts for us. He intends to be on the Kings because no one else is interested. He also asks, why is Kuminga so special? And if he is, why is nobody else knocking on the Warriors' door? Well, I think it's a fair question, Scott. And the Nets thing, right? Here's the situation with Jonathan Kuminga and with certain teams. I think there are a lot of teams that would just rather, a lot of teams that are in the business of having 22-year-olds, a lot of those teams just stink. And a lot of those teams are going to be in the lottery. So they figure, hey, Jonathan Kuminga's cool, but we're kind of building our own thing here. The teams that don't necessarily know where they're going, those are the teams that have been interested in Kuminga. Let's go over the teams that have been interested. The Bulls, they're stuck in no man's land. The Suns, They're stuck in no man's land with no draft picks. So how else are they going to acquire young talent? And the Kings that are also stuck in no man's land. So I don't know if it is as much of a indictment on Jonathan Kuminga as a player and as a talent as it is just the situation and certain teams that would be interested, right? The teams that are kind of the Hornets. The Hornets have a bunch of young 20-year-olds. They don't necessarily need to add in Jonathan Kuminga. I just talked about it. The Hornets, the Wizards, the Nets, right? Teams like that, they already know they're just going to continue stinking, getting brand new guys with no baggage, anything like that, right? Then you have the teams that are kind of looking to make a leap, if you will, and still fairly young. Let's take the Blazers. The Blazers missed the playoffs. The Blazers, they got Denny Avdia. There's no runway for Jonathan Kuminga there, right? There's not a lot of teams that are able to give Jonathan Kuminga runway, and I think that's why Jonathan Kuminga is so salty and might actually sign the qualifying offer, because the Warriors put him in a position where all these other teams, they know what happens with young talent. They give them the runway, they figure out whether they stink or not, and they either extend them or they keep it pushing because they still stink and they move forward. This was a very unique situation, and because of that, a lot of teams don't feel comfortable to move forward with Jonathan Kuminga, besides teams that are not really sure if they're going to stink or not, or they don't have draft picks, or they don't really have a lane. The Kings don't really have a lane. The Bulls don't really have a lane. The Suns don't really have a lane. The Blazers, they have a bunch of young players that they want to give runway to, right? Some of these teams, the Spurs, they have a specific situation where they have young players that they want to give runway to. So everybody's looking around. They got their own rookies. They got their own young players, or they're just going to continue to stink and get even more young players. Then you have the teams that are actual contenders. He's not going to play on that team, on those teams. So now he's kind of stuck looking for teams that are essentially, you could even argue like the Pacers, right? Like a Pacers-esque situation where I think Tyrese Halliburton showed much more than Jonathan Kuminga has, but a Pacers situation where, hey, we kind of want to tweak some things and kind of do an upstart retool, if you will, and there's not a ton of teams in that model right now. The Kings are in that model. The Bulls are in that model. We thought the Suns are in that model. We thought the Bucks might have been in that model. They're not in that model. The Nets just decided they were the team with the cap space. No, we're just going to trade and take on a bad contract and stink and get more draft picks. That's what we're going to do. You know, Jonathan Kuminga's cool. No, thank you. And maybe that's the argument that Scott's trying to make. I'm just saying it's more about how the league works to me more than it is about, I think, to some degree, how Kuminga plays, the stuff that he said. I'm not trying to skate away from that, Scott, but I think on top of that, the way the league works, all these teams have plans, and Kuminga's situation doesn't fit into a lot of teams' plans. On top of that, specifically where he's saying, I want to be the number one, number two option. That doesn't help either.
Well, and you have to trade for him, which means you have to give up something in return, right? Which Sacramento is comfortable doing that for whatever their reasons are, clearing up the logjam, preference about which guards they would like to keep. Again, whatever their reasons are, they're comfortable, A, making that trade to get Kuminga for 70 cents on the dollar, and B, are comfortable enough with him coming in and being a starter. I won't say a number one, but it's certainly a number 1 or 2 or 3 on your team offensively. I guess Sacramento has made the call that they're comfortable doing that.
916-339-1140, call line, text line, and of course you can hit us up on the YouTube chat. Shout out to the chat when we return. The Lakers say they're pretty much done. Are we going to see any more fireworks this off season? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic, semaglutide injection 0.5 milligrams.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy chicken biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all three if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in a combo without supplies last.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metalwoods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531, 808-2531 for more.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop. Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Allen Stiles.
Allen Stiles.
Taking you up to 2 p.m.
Allen Stiles.
Thank you very much, Kyle. Taking you up to 2 p.m. I'm just looking here. If you're just now joining us, I'm not, I've never been, well, not never. Back in my day, you used to go to somebody's house if you wanted to play video games. Kyle doesn't remember GoldenEye, right? When you would have the golden gun. Kyle doesn't remember GoldenEye. Kyle doesn't remember, I don't even think he was alive, so there's no way he could remember. Ken Griffey Jr. baseball with Jay Buhner, Edgar Martinez, Ken Griffey Jr. Randy Johnson, he had 4 pitches, Kyle. Randy Johnson had a super fast. He had a fast and a super fast. His fast was 100. His super fast was 106 miles per hour. You could not play with the Mariners in Ken Griffey Jr. baseball.
Now that's just what Mason Miller throws.
That's just norm. That is just a late reliever in.
That's the 8th inning guy for the Padres.
Literally
now, is Randy Johnson super fast. My baseball game as a kid, because there was like probably a small window where I was super into video games. Mine was MLB 2K back when 2K still had the licensing, so it wasn't even the show. Mm-hmm. But it was whatever year it was that David Price was on the cover. I remember playing that game a lot.
Man, that's a name drop.
David Price?
Yeah.
I guess for these young kids now, David Price is a bit of a name drop. There was David Price, and one year was, I think, Roy Halladay was on the cover. Those are the two that I remember playing as a kid. Whatever versions of MLB 2K on the Wii that was.
Malik Monk. So the reason I brought that up is because the 2K ratings just dropped. And even though I don't game like some of you game, I know a lot of you are big on video games and the rankings in video games. I also want to give you some of these titles that they've given to the Kings players as well, okay? So Devin Carter is number 10. I'm going to go through it in order, all right? Devin Carter is a 74 overall. He is an 80 as far as his dunk score. He's a 75 three-point shooter, which is just not going to work, okay? This is not. I think it should be a little bit higher, but we know Devin Carter. You got 2 options. He never touches the rim. Devin Carter has never touched the rim on a three-pointer.
I don't know.
Or an air ball.
I saw a lot of clanks during summer league.
It's a swoosh or an air ball. That's it. But Devin Carter at number 10, they have him at 6'3", Kyle.
6'3.5".
Okay. Devin Carter, inside-out scoring threat. That's what they have him at.
Okay.
Dario Saric, 6'10", 74 overall, a 70 dunking, and a 73 pointer. Dario Saric they have him slated as a versatile defender.
Not sure about that. We haven't seen him play in 2 years, so I guess we'll find out.
Thank you so much. Drew Eubanks, an inside-out scoring threat.
Well, is he rated higher than Saric?
Yes, he is a 77.
Wow.
This is in order.
So maybe we're not talking enough about Drew Eubanks.
You know who could unlock this offense? Somebody's going to see it and get mad at me again. If Drew Eubanks, I'm going to look it up here. Because if you're an inside-out scoring threat, let's see here. 50% from three-point range.
How many attempts?
You want to know how many attempts he took? Okay. You want to know?
2 for 4.
0.1.
No, but
I got to find the total.
There should be totals. If you scroll down, there should be totals on Basketball Reference.
Drew Eubanks took 6 threes. And he was 3 for 6. Look, get in the gym, take the spot where Jonas Valanciunas was, all right? Get in the gym and unlock this offense, dang it.
Little Maxime Reynaud. Look, Maxime Reynaud's coach said he's more of a 4. Maxime Reynaud at the 4, Eubanks at the 5. Oh, buddy, we're cooking now.
I want to walk in there and I want to see all the big men just in a corner shooting threes.
So here's the idea. You remember Around the World, the basketball game you would play?
Yes.
Yeah. So you've got one end of the court, Saric versus Isaac Jones. The other end of the court, Maxime Reynaud versus Drew Eubanks.
No, that's all you guys are doing.
Just around the world with all the bigs.
That's all you guys are doing.
If you can shoot 36% on corner threes, you can play for the Sacramento Kings.
Next on the list, so Drew Eubanks was a 77. They have him as 77 from 3. He took 6 threes. I don't get that.
That's crazy.
He's a better shooter than Devin Carter.
So 6 threes is a better shooter than Devin Carter, and also DeMar DeRozan dunking is the same as Malik Monk.
That one to me, that's the end of it. And I think, this is NBA, this is 2KRatings.com. This is it, right?
I think it's just a website that assembles 2K. I don't know if this is
but they're not making them up, right?
I don't know. I don't know, dude.
It's the first. It's it.
It is. It's got NBA 2K licensing on it, so I guess this is official.
Okay.
No, it says 2KRatings.com is an independent fan site, so it's not even actual 2K. It's just fans putting it together.
Well, but why would they make up? Why would they make? So is it not released yet?
Well, they kind of trickle out slowly. Like I see they have the rookie class, and they have Cooper, they have Ace Bailey, but they don't have a bunch of other guys yet. Like we don't know what VJ Edgecombe is yet.
But Kyle, the last thing I'm going to say. Oh, wait. Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. Okay, so we don't know. So this is why I don't game. So nothing is out yet.
No, it's all getting leaked out.
What a disaster.
I mean, the game's not out yet.
What a disaster. So this is what they think they'll be.
No, this is if they're posting it, it's probably been confirmed that this is what they are.
I agree with you. That's
I think the reason they only have 10 Kings is that there's only 10 that have been released.
All right, next on the list, Keon Ellis is number 7. He's a 78 overall, 86 from 3, 65 dunker. That's rough.
Sure.
That's no 65.
I'm saying 86-3. That makes him one of the best 3-point shooters in the league.
How is Dario Saric a better dunker than Keon Ellis?
I've never seen Dario Saric dunk. And quite frankly, I don't know if I've ever seen Keon Ellis dunk.
Dennis Schroeder is number 6 on this list at 70. Oh, by the way, they have, Drew Eubanks, 6 threes, inside out scoring threat, though.
There's just no way.
Keon Ellis is a 3-and-D point guard.
That's not true.
Okay. Dennis Schroeder, kind of, just leave out point, but he is 3-and-D.
Combo guard.
It says shooting point guard, shooting/point guard. Well, it's funny. Keon Ellis says shooting SG/PG. Dennis Schroeder says PG/SG. So that's what they're better at.
2K's got to start going to wings.
No,
they got to start using wings and ball handlers.
Dennis Schroeder, he is a 78 overall. Yeah, like we talked about, 77-3, 45 from as far as a dunker. He is a 3-level scoring playmaker.
If I click on the Spurs right now and see that same description for De'Aaron Fox, I'm going to throw something.
You probably will. Keegan Murray, 81 overall, 83 three-pointer, 80 dunker. He's an inside-out scoring threat. Malik Monk they only have shooting guard. They didn't even throw PG on there. Shot creating 3-level threat. That's the first one we've seen of that one. Shot creating 3-level threat. This stuff is so funny, man. They're just so by the way, no, it gets even better. You know who else is a shot creating 3-level threat?
Who?
DeMar DeRozan.
You know who else I just looked up because I was gonna throw something if De'Aaron was and he wasn't. Guess who else is a shot creating 3-level threat according to these guys? Harrison Barnes.
I knew you were gonna say Harrison Barnes.
Harrison Barnes is a shot creating 3-level threat.
So Malik Monk, 83 overall, 83 pointer, 80 dunker, which is the same. DeMar DeRozan and Malik Monk are basically just the same person, pretty much. DeMar DeRozan is 4 points better than Malik Monk, 87 overall, 77 three-pointer, 80 dunker. Domantas Sabonis, 88 overall, 83 three-pointer, 75 dunker. That's disrespectful. And Zach LaVine, highest ranked on the Kings. They're both 88. But Zach LaVine at 87 three-pointer and a 94 dunker. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Sounds like a much better team than 35 wins, by the way.
Well, they also don't have a top 30 player in the league. Let's also acknowledge that part of it, right? You said Sabonis was ranked 33rd among all players in the league in 2K rating. So that's kind of the thing that's like most important in the NBA. And look, Sabonis has been all NBA in the past. He's gotten MVP votes. Like, I'm not saying Sabonis is the 33rd best player in the NBA. I'm saying they're ranking Sabonis as the 33rd best player in the NBA, which means there's probably about 25 other teams that in theory have a number one as good or better than Domantas Sabonis, according to 2K ratings.
Let's see here. I'm just double checking. Yeah, there's no gamers that are going to help us out here with this whole situation.
What do you want them to do?
Well, now I'm on the actual, it's NBA.2K. Those ratings.
Boy, another one?
No. And I'm trying to figure out, this one has Keon as a 78 overall. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, this one still has Markelle Fultz and Trey Lyles. Real quick, guess what, to your point, Kyle, guess what they had Markelle Fultz as? Remember what you said. Nobody's under 70.
Is it going to be like 71?
74.
Jesus.
These are participation trophies.
No, I'm telling you, 2K changed, man. Back in my day in 2015, 10 years ago, there used to be 50s on NBA 2K. There used to be players who were so bad that they would have like a 49 rating, and they just don't do that anymore. They don't want anyone to be mad.
Well, it's because that Ronnie 2K dude, he's got a brand, and these players will pull up on him.
But Ronnie 2K isn't the one making the ratings. They have whole like guys who go to NBA games with like official ratings. What is it? The Madden ratings people and stuff like that. Like there's people who curate this stuff.
Yeah. On the other side, the Lakers basically say they are done. How many more moves will happen before the season starts up? And will the Kings be one of those teams to make one last-ditch effort? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Bing Maloney Golf Course is 27 holes of high-flying public fun, and Bing Maloney is a classic design for golfers of all abilities. Bing Maloney's lighted driving range is a great place to learn and practice this summer under the covered hitting stations. The range also offers a practice putting green and outdoor furniture to relax with friends. Enjoy tasty beverages or comfort food from Maloney's Grill. The Association of Golf Merchandisers has named Bing Maloney a top 100 golf shop. For tee times, visit bingmaloney.com. It's Sacramento Golf's great value course.
Around here, the summer can smack you silly, especially if your AC is not functioning at a high level. Whitey Gleason here. I had the opposite problem over the winter. System went down. It was panic time, but Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating saved the day. Let them save you from unnecessary summer misery. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, reliable, trustworthy. They do great work. They won awards for their service. Check the reviews at leesair.com. Find out about their $99 HVAC tune-up service. Save your summer now. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating on the web at leesair.com. License number 635-355.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9861. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9861. That's 800-575-9861. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Seth Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Seth Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sepp's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Time now for your Sacktown Sports 1140 49ers report, brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, conveniently located beside the Vacaville outlets. The Niners lost their first preseason game to Denver 30-9 on Saturday night. Few of the starters played for Mike Shanahan's team. Mac Jones started at quarterback and drove the team down the field for a game-opening TV drive. However, that was all the offensive scoring for San Francisco. Next up for the Niners, they play in Vegas this Saturday afternoon. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins. High Voltage Live boxing action returns to the venue on September 6th as Uppercut Promotions presents 6 big fights featuring undefeated fighters. Thunder Showdown September 6th at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Tickets at Ticketmaster. Fight cards subject to change.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. And we've been having some fun with 2K. We are trying to confirm whether or not we have the new ratings for 2K. Or we don't.
It's good conversation anyways.
I think we do. At least I think we do.
But not for everyone. We only have 10 players.
No.
They didn't even put Terrence Davis on here.
So the other part of the conversation that we have been having is the Lakers are pretty much done making moves, which is surprising to me. Right. This is from Sean Devaney. Still, the feeling around the Lakers is that the team is pretty much set as it is, and that no major trades are forthcoming until the season gets rolling. The Lakers have had opportunities to include the likes of Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt in trade packages already, but have declined to do so. I don't think that means they really like Jared Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent. I think they just are banking on, well, first they want to see this team and how they get going. Then on top of that, just banking on, hey, we'll probably have some opportunities once the season gets started. Which, and this is not to talk about the Lakers, but in general, I think this is how a lot of teams are approaching it at this point.
You know, in a weird way, the Lakers roster, I know it's hard to believe because of just how insane that Luka trade was, but the way it looks right now, the Lakers roster actually makes sense. Like for the first time in a while, it makes a lot of sense. And look, we've talked before about like Dalton Connect might get squeezed out of the lineup. Sure, that totally could happen, but you've got your starters, you've got your Lucas, your Reeves, your Rui, LeBron, DeAndre Ayton, you got Jake LaRavia coming off the bench, you got Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes as a backup, Gabe Vincent as a shooter, Marcus Smart as your backup point guard. Like for all the issues about Kings roster construction and having it not make sense, the Lakers 10-man rotation actually, I mean, not including Dalton Connect, their 10-man rotation actually makes a lot of sense right now.
Just to take a step back real quick, are we headed towards a really exciting NBA season?
Oh, especially in the Western Conference.
I was going to say, yeah, the East.
The East, you can find things, right? Like some people are really going to get excited about Orlando, but in the West, I mean, I want to put the Lakers as a top 2 seed in the West. Like, Oklahoma City's obviously still number 1 until proven otherwise, just because they're so young and bringing back the whole team and Topic.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to find any reason I can to put the Lakers as the second best team. And a big part of that is I just believe in Luka. I think Luka is going to win MVP, plural, in the future. And there's just no world where I don't see Luka winning at least one MVP. But there's just so many good teams in the West. I mean, if you want to talk storylines, you've got Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, back-to-back conference finals trying to get over the hump. Jokic and Denver are back and better than before. You've got the Clippers still trying to hold on. You've got the Rockets who just traded for Kevin Durant and feel like they're not being appreciated enough. You've got the Spurs and Wemby, and they're going to be on every nationally televised game all across the country. Like, there are, regardless of how good you think the teams are, there are just so many storylines going into the season that I think are really compelling. None of them in Sacramento, but they are very compelling across the league.
I was just texting Chris Watkins. So Chris Watkins just texted in to the show on my personal line, but
yeah,
Chris,
not on the text line.
On the text line. Brendan Nunez will text in on the text line though.
Yeah, he's on the YouTube too sometimes.
And Chris says, also, those aren't the right ratings. I fell for the same thing a couple years ago. They aren't out yet. They've only released certain top 10s for ratings. So there's these kids, man. We're just making fake.
I think these are last year's ratings.
I don't know. I'm done with it. I'm done.
Look, this is the thing I was saying yesterday about AI. Is like, AI is not even good right now, and we're getting fooled by it. What's going to happen when it's like actually kind of decent? Like, we're getting fooled by like, it's just, this isn't even like embarrassing anymore. Like, I get fooled by AI stuff all the time.
So that is where we're at. And of course, as we have spent, 5 minutes, and I know you guys are all running around, but we have spent 5 minutes on the Laker talk, the 209. What the hell is going on? Can you quit all this Laker talk? This is the home of the Kings. We hate the Lakers. We hate it. Walter and Stockton. Walter, it's been 5 minutes. 5 minutes, Walter.
All we did was say they have a balanced roster.
It was all this talk. I know, Walter. We must have spent 2 hours on the Lakers. 916-339.
While we're doing the Laker talk, I do think it is funny that according to an NBA executive, Luka is going to be out for blood next year. He's going to win MVP and the scoring title because he wants to prove Dallas wrong for calling him a fat slob who smokes hookah.
I mean, look, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. You're the Luka guy. I'm not even the Luka guy.
No, I'm the Luka guy. I just don't understand why people are like, Luka is going to, like, people keep conflating Luka being traded and this motivation with, like, he's going to be like Michael Jordan that one summer where he lifted weights and he's going to come back. No, Luka was already averaging 34 points per game and carried the Mavericks to the finals, 15 months ago?
Yeah.
Like, Luka was already awesome before all of this happened. He's just going to be awesome on a different team.
You need bulletin board material, and getting called a fat slob is definitely bulletin board.
who smokes too much hookah and is going to have a medical catastrophe.
Yeah. All right. Let's move off of this because people, I don't want Walter to get mad. But as far as just the league in general and the moves that have or haven't been made, I think that people can roast Shams if they want and say, hey, I thought this was going to be a crazy offseason. I'm falling for it. There are a couple things that I tell y'all I'm not going to fall for, but then I eventually fall for. The Arizona Cardinals, falling for the Arizona Cardinals every single season. What else is there? There are a number of things. We'll have to come up with a list, Kyle.
Of things you fall for?
Of things that I fall for, and I'm falling for...
You fell for the A's earlier this year.
The A's. Okay.
How about let's just say an over win total.
Yeah, I'm going to fall for somebody's over win total.
Yeah, you're going to see some win total and just be like, hammer the over.
The Falcons, if your team's mascot is a bird, I probably believe in them. I don't know why.
Why would you believe in the Falcons? The Falcons have given you every reason your entire life.
It's not even the Falcons. It's just some NFC South team. When Derek Carr went to the Saints, I fell for it. Michael Penix and the Falcons, I fell for it. I'm not falling for it again, but I fell for it. I'm always going to fall for something, and I am falling for this other thing that I tend to fall for. I'm falling for the trade deadline madness. I believe there will be trade deadline madness.
Sounds like you were falling for Bryce Young yesterday too. So maybe you've just swapped it out for a new NFC South.
Yeah, so now I'm falling for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the team.
You were like, Bryce Young has turned his career around. I'm like, well, good luck with that.
209 says you fell for Gilbert. Okay, well, that's different. Okay, Drew Gilbert is going to save the San Francisco Giants.
No, he's going to save the Sacramento River Cats.
And if he doesn't, there will be tryouts for right field in San Francisco. So do not miss that, okay?
I honestly think it's remarkable that Gilbert made it to the majors as fast as he did, because you were like, oh, I'm all in on trading Taylor Rogers for him. I think it's just cool that he got there.
You got to watch how you say this stuff. I didn't say I'm all in for trading Tyler Rogers.
Oh, I called him the wrong Rogers.
I found out that he was traded for Tyler Rogers, and I said, oh, that's cool. I didn't want – I wasn't running around. So today I've traded Tyler Rogers. I've traded Keegan Murray. Who else? Have I talked Lakers for 2 hours. Okay, that's what this show is. And I gave the fake 2K ratings.
You spent multiple segments on fake 2K ratings that said Keon Ellis was a 78 but could shoot better from three than anyone in the league.
916-339.
This has been a great show.
It really has.
All we need now is to run our tankathon.
That's right, and we're going to do that when we return. We're also going to talk about the A's and how a movement has been started throughout Major League Baseball. But is it a good one? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPfest.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
everyone was going over things that I fall in love with. So 916 is saying you've traded Malik Monk 4 times. That's not true. I didn't even start that. Okay?
We started DeMar DeRozan.
That's right.
For Terry Rozier in 2 seconds.
We started handshake agreements.
Yes. That Dunk Central aggregated late on a Friday night.
We started mutual agreements and handshake agreements, okay? You got to get it right. 916-339-1140. One more hour with you. And as we spend some time here on the A's, we're going to talk about the A's, but it is going to be, as we did talk about the A's on the field at the 11 o'clock hour. You can go check that out. You can go backwards on YouTube. You can check that on the Sacktown Sports app. We are going to talk about the other part of the A's stuff. This is from my guy, Chris Biederman. And this is last night. Attendance for tonight's A's and Rays in West Sacramento was 7,731. All right. It's the smallest crowd of the season at Sutter Health Park. That's where we're at right now. So last night, that was the smallest amount. Now,
and by a lot too. I think the previous low was like 8,300.
Sure. So with that being said, and funny enough, who is it against? Right? The other team playing in a minor league stadium. So this has kind of started a conversation. There are other teams and other fans of teams that have kind of adopted what A's fans started when they were in Oakland as far as the sell the team chance. We're going to reveal who those 12 teams are. But first, we wanted to play this sound from Brody Brazil, who Brody Brazil was with the A's, and then a lot of things kind of changed. Brody Brazil,
NBC Sports.
Yes, he was with NBC Sports. He was basically Kyle Draper, if you will, for the A's when they made a couple different moves. Brody Brazil is now with the Sharks, but he has a huge YouTube channel where he talks a lot of local Bay Area news and things like that. So Brody Brazil, he is responding to Brent Rooker, and Brent Rooker had some things to say as far as the sell the team chant and how it makes the players feel. And Brody Brazil goes ahead and responds to him. This is what he had to say.
You kind of wish that energy was directed more towards supporting what's happening on the field, because we're giving a lot of effort and work really hard, and a lot goes into going out and competing every night. So you see both sides of it. You respect people's rights to voice their opinions, but there are times we wished that energy was directed more at supporting what we're doing on the field. Rook pointing out that he would have loved to have seen more of that sell the team energy supporting the players on the field rather than its direction towards the franchise and ownership of the franchise. Let me just say this. The exact comparison here is like, and I hate to use this analogy, but this is probably the best one. This is almost like your spouse, your significant other, cheating on you and knowingly they're going to leave you. But they want to hear the compliment that you think that they're still really good looking. You're hot. I know you're leaving me. I know that we're done, but you're really hot. That's kind of like the wrong time, the wrong place. Read the room. Read the situation, Rook. There's no way fans can attach to players anymore when those players are being ripped away. They want to love you. They're fighting over you. They're fighting like they're going to your boss to complain about what they're doing to you. I mean, we're all on the same side here. I get your point. You wanted support as players in the last couple of years of the Coliseum. Fans had bigger fish to fry than whether you hit 30 home runs or not, whether you were on the All-Star team or not. No offense, Rook. This is a 57-year thing, not just you for the last couple of years. This is tradition. This is jobs. This is a lot of different things. Fans didn't really have the time to support the product on the field as much as they would have loved to have done that. That's what they had always wanted to do. That's why they're fighting to keep this product. So they were a little bit busy. Brent, I hope that is understood.
That was Brody Brazil, and Brody Brazil been connected with the A's for a very long time, and he is no longer connected with the A's. And how he started that, he was obviously quoting what Brent Rooker was saying. So just to make that abundantly clear, Brent Rooker's quote was, "You kind of wish that energy was directed more toward supporting what's happening on the field, because we're giving a lot of effort and work really hard, and a lot goes into competing every night. So you see both sides of it. You respect people's rights to voice their opinions, but there are times we wished that energy was directed more at supporting what we're doing on the field." Now, look, I'll never forget Brent Rooker and, being in Golden One Center when it broke that Brent Rooker had signed this contract. Brent Rooker is from, look here, Germantown, Tennessee. Okay, he went to Mississippi State, right? Brent Rooker, I think, has one of the most him and Lawrence Butler, one of the more outgoing personalities. And I think once the A's are good, whether that's here or in Vegas, I think that he will be somebody Major League Baseball really wraps their arms around, right? He's 30 years old. Took him a little bit longer to get his money, and he's kind of coming to his own, made his debut back in 2020. Brent Rooker has really no connection to the A's, right? He joined the A's. He joined the A's in 2023.
Well, and he joined the A's after getting just waived by Kansas City. They were just like, okay, you're going to be out of the league soon.
So let's put this into perspective, right? With all that being said, he finally got his big contract with the A's.
He finally made it.
Yes. Brent Rooker owes a lot to the A's organization. Brent Rooker is going to ride for the A's above all else. So I am not hating on Brent Rooker at all for having his opinion, for riding for an organization that changed his life. Okay? With that being said, I don't know that Brent Rooker, how easy it is for him to understand everything that has gone on and has continued to go on, and not to go in the way back machine, because we've had these conversations before. Now we're to a point where other teams are starting to pick up on what the A's did, or I should say what the A's fans did when they were in Oakland, and obviously it's still continuing here in Sacramento. This is from USA Today. USA Today sports analysis shows that 12 Major League Baseball teams have engaged in the chant in varying degrees of organization the past 3 years, perhaps indicating fans have taken a cue from Oakland's highly publicized unrest to demand more from their ownership groups. The three-word plea can come spontaneously or after significant planning, or sometimes to simply prove a grander point. If there's 12 teams who have to say sell, right? I think that there is something wrong with the current process. Here are the teams that have been named. The A's, obviously, the Nationals, the Orioles, the Rockies, the Pirates, the White Sox, the Mariners, the Rays, the Angels, the Twins, the Marlins, and the Reds. Now, some of these don't make a lot of sense to me. Mariners, that doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
They've had issues in the past with this,
right? And it's the past three years. That's what USA Today has kind of mentioned. So the Mariners, I know the Orioles they stink this season, but they've been good in the past, or as recently they had all those dudes that looked the same and they were all supposed to be really good.
Yes, but even that process, I think they were like the 21st ranked payroll in baseball, even while making the playoffs.
Right, exactly. They had finally hit on some guys.
They hit on young players, but they were still being cheap.
The Nationals, they move off of Juan Soto. They move off of Bryce Harper. They didn't want to pay. They didn't want to pay these guys. They randomly got that World Series, but besides that, the Nationals have been terrible.
Well, what's funny also is that they won the World Series, then immediately decided, well, we could never do that again. Let's just immediately sell every good thing about that team.
Rockies, they're an embarrassment. All right. The Pirates,
if not for the A's, they would be number one on this list.
Because they just said, I think somebody played something that said, we really want this guy to be a part of our future moving forward. That was about Ke'Bryan Hayes. All right. He is now with their rival. Okay. He is no longer with the Pirates. The White Sox are just atrocious. Okay. We talked about the Mariners, the Rays, they're in a minor league stadium as well. I don't know about the Angels might be getting sell just because we just think you have bad luck. Because the Angels have tried.
No, the Angels spend money, but their sell is like, Artie Moreno, you are the reason we just wasted the greatest baseball player ever's career twice. We the greatest baseball player ever twice we ruined in the last decade.
The Twins, they just sold. They take Carlos Correa, who was the best Giant to never actually play a game, and the Twins and Twins fans are really ticked off because they did not expect this. They thought, hey, I thought we were going to get to the first round and lose again because that's what we always do. And the Twins said, no, we're going to sell now.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about this with the Twins being so broke. Did you know that the Twins almost contracted 20 years ago? Like their owner was willing to voluntarily dissolve the team. That guy still owns the team 20 years later. The guy who was willingly wanted to just give up the Twins and just said, sure, contract my team, still owns the team somehow.
So these are the teams that are being brought up, right? And then we know the Marlins, that's a nightmare.
That one's great. Do you know what the highest paid position player on the Marlins is this year? It's $800,000. Yeah. It's crazy.
And the Reds, we'll see when it's time to pay Ellie, right?
They did it once with Votto, and Votto, made the playoffs like twice in his entire career. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say this before anybody else does, because I'm sure that's what the thought process is. You can make the argument people just don't, or people could just say, well, is it actually working? Right? Is any of this actually working? Because you can't actually force someone to sell unless they do something that is either illegal or is very, very frowned upon. And I'm talking about the Clippers situation and things like that.
Sarver with the Suns.
Exactly. So it's more about and what we've talked about. And Kyle, we're probably ready for Statista. It's probably out, the NBA. We'll do that tomorrow.
We'll see if you can find it. I'm gonna leave that up to you to see if you can find it.
But it's really, the power is really in your hands. And I think that other fan bases are starting to see the tough situation that A's fans were in. Because coming out here, look, I got into it with other hosts at other stations, and we had conversations as men, as adults, and tried to come to a common ground. Hey, we don't agree on this. That's cool. No harm, no foul, no beef. It's all good. But the idea that it is a rock and a hard place, and it is tough to want to support your team, but what's happening isn't right. Here's the crazy part. I think A's fans, or those specific A's fans, are vindicated in a way because these fans are saying sell the team, and they're not even in danger of, not all of them, some of them, they're not even in danger of losing their franchise moving. So let's throw on the fact that your owner doesn't want to spend, then add, in addition to not wanting to spend, then add on the fact that they've threatened to leave, and now they actually are leaving. Why would anybody support that? Because to bring it back to what Brody Brazil said, when he did the comparison of, you're cheating on your spouse, but you still want them to say that you're hot, they're leaving, right? These other teams, they're not even leaving. And the sell conversation is coming up. Major League Baseball and the collective bargaining agreement, if there has to be if they want there to be a floor, there's probably going to have to be a ceiling as well. But Major League Baseball, I just don't think they can continue to operate like this.
Well, taking the salary cap and floor out of the question, I think what's happening with baseball now is that there's not enough billionaires that want to buy baseball teams and pour money into baseball teams because the big bulk of their money comes from regional television. Regional television contracts are dying all over the place. The Padres, the Diamondbacks, Cleveland, a bunch of teams just bailed on their regional TV deals. Like, so that revenue stream is drying up. I mean, the Pirates guy has just made it clear, I don't have the money, right? Like, their thing is, which you should sell if you don't have the money to operate a $1 billion business. You should sell to someone who does, but there's just not enough people to continue justifying these baseball deals to be worth $1.5 billion. And to your point about, you know, fans not supporting it and supporting the product, like, it becomes a double-edged sword because then the owners like John Fisher or the Maloofs in Sacramento or the Seattle Supersonics will use that lack of interest to justify moving the team out of the city. So then it becomes this double-edged sword of, I don't support my team will leave, and then I won't have the team to support once the team actually does get better ownership or get more money or whatever the situation might be.
Yeah, you know, obviously I've said it time and time again, I like just talking baseball more than I like talking about this, but now that it is getting a bit of national publicity and other teams are starting to do it, this is not going to be something that goes away within Major League Baseball. And when you have the rich just staying rich, as far as the Dodgers are concerned, and I would even, because the thing is, the Mets, the Phillies, there's a difference between a willingness versus, hey, we are going to invest in something. And it just feels like in baseball, they're damn near tax write-offs, a lot of them, right? And how do you stop that from being the case? Bryce Harper can be as mad as he wants, but I just think that it's a tough, I'm not trying to pocket watch, but it's a tough argument. I understand that you're used to something. And it's easy for me to say, because I just looked at my bank account and the bills just hit. We out here grinding. We out here grinding. But if it's a bet, and I don't think for a second that Bryce Harper doesn't want a good product, right? Or doesn't understand. But if they feel as if the only way they can implement a salary floor is to implement a salary cap, I'm sorry, Bryce, $300 million is great. You might have to drop to $150 million, and it's just a better product as a whole. If I'm understanding this correctly, that's how I see it, because you can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing it.
But in that scenario, you would have to then take the money you're saving from Bryce Harper potentially and then give it to these other teams. Because if you instituted a salary floor that said you have to spend $150 million as a floor on your payroll, I mean, maybe not the Angels, but these other 11 teams simply would not be able to afford their teams. They would not make the money. Because, right, like when we talk about the NFL or the NBA, but specifically the NFL, they talk about nobody is bigger than the Shield, right? Of course. We can name the quarterback of the terrible, terrible New Orleans Saints, but if I asked you to name 3 Miami Marlins, we'd probably struggle to come up with 3 between the two of us.
Is Jazz Chisholm still there?
Yeah, he is not.
I'm kidding.
Stowers is pretty good.
Jazz Chisholm is overthrowing people on the Yankees.
Yes, exactly. Oh, wait, do I have that? I have that sound here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. But here. Damn it! That was him mic'd up, missing a throw to first.
Damn it! And his chains. Damn it! You can hear his chains dangling.
Yeah. Damn it!
But continue.
Anyways, they say no one's bigger than the Shield in the NFL. In baseball, I think the problem is if you're going to make the point of entry to buy a baseball team $1 billion, which John Fisher's asking for $2 billion for the A's right now. So if you're going to make that the point of entry, I don't think there's enough brands in baseball to justify having 30 teams. Right? Like, the Dodgers make tons of money. The Phillies make tons of money. The Mets, the Yankees, those teams make tons of money. But for the other 15 teams, or even the 12 that we're talking about here, they just don't make enough money to make this a worthwhile endeavor. I don't think even a salary floor fixes that, because where are they going to get $100 million if they don't even have it? If the Twins are $400 million in debt now, how the hell are they going to go get $100 million more to afford a salary floor?
No, I hear you. I hear you, but this can't continue. We can discuss what can and can't happen. All I know is you cannot continue to let these teams. So I guess then it only turns into a salary cap.
Well, and then it becomes the Dodgers and teams like that just continuing to further supplement these teams, right? You're putting in the salary cap to then take those excess revenues and just give it to these other teams so that they don't completely go under, essentially, right? I mean, the Pirates have told you time and time again, we just cannot afford to pay more money for this team. Like Bob Nutting, which is the name of the owner.
But then sell.
Exactly. And baseball won't force people to sell because they're going to not like the price that they sell at. Like teams are going to start declining in value in baseball, and that's going to be the telltale sign that baseball really is screwed. If those team valuations, that's why they won't let Fisher sell, because they don't want to see that valuation dip below what he bought it for.
Yeah, but I would argue it could be, right? And maybe this is me just being optimistic about baseball, a short-term dip in valuation to sell to someone that truly wants to improve on it. So yeah, you bought it at a lesser amount, but you're selling it to somebody that is at least claiming that they are going to invest in it and claiming they're going to make it better. If Paul Skeens goes to one of these big teams, which is probably going to happen, this is, and I'm not talking about everybody having to be on the same level, right? I'm not talking about communism in Major League Baseball.
I mean, baseball already has socialism.
But you can't continue, right, to just let these teams. So you finally get a hit. He's got Livy Dunn. It's the hottest that Pittsburgh has ever looked. You still got Andrew McCutchen because he's never retiring. And you lose a guy like that, then you're not actually trying. I feel like to button this all up, I feel like if you continue to let this happen, then Pirates fans or whatever type of fans, we talk about it in Sacramento, you're going to stop falling for it, right? Hey, I'm going to stop falling for the fact that the Kings are attempting to contend, but they're not really trying to contend. Pirates fans are just going to say, I'm just going to follow the Penguins, and I'm just going to follow the Steelers, teams that I know, and the Steelers, by the way, the Mr. 9-8, but I'm just going to follow teams that I know are at least investing in it. I'm not going to waste my time with the Pirates anymore, which in turn hurts you more than selling at a lower valuation to an owner or a future owner that would invest in the product.
I think we're already there, though, because in the story they mentioned specifically with the Pirates have had 3 sellouts this season. Opening day, Paul Skeens bobblehead day, and Mac Miller bobblehead day.
Hey, RIP, man.
RIP. Look, and by the way, at all 3 of those games, coordinated sell chance. It's already there with some of these teams, right? Different teams are at different levels of this process, like the Mariners. Mariners are going to make the playoffs. Very competitive team. Could they spend more money? Probably. But some of these teams are already there. And I think these 6 or 7 teams are just, it's never, unless the teams that make a ton of money and the Steve Cohens and the guy who owns the Phillies and the Dodgers of the world, unless they continue to fund those teams, there's just no way they're ever going to be able to compete because they just can't make enough money. And that's the thing that stinks about baseball not having any national brand anymore, right? The NBA can afford this because everyone's on national TV. The NFL, everyone's on the red zone. Everyone's on national TV. Baseball, I haven't watched the Pirates in like 2 years, and I don't need to.
That's disrespectful.
We watched Andrew McCutchen hit 270 for the Pirates.
With a higher OPS than every Giants.
Where can I ever watch the Pirates? They're not on TBS. They're
MLB
not
at bat.
But you have to pay for that. right? If I'm just a casual fan, I can see.
Are you talking about what are you talking about?
Right, like in the NFL, I can see a random team on a Monday Night Football. I could literally go.
They'll get Sunday. Well, it's done now, but they had Sunday Night Baseball.
My point is, there's no outlet to watch the. It is completely regional, and if you lose that regional value, then you lose any connection to the team.
916-339-1140 on the other side. Kyle and I argue about this QB tier list. Let's see how high Kyle wants to put his Mr. Patrick Mahomes. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery with the purchase of any smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Avery-Anna. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf.com's Josh Sens offers 5 common golf course maintenance mistakes and tips to correct them. You've hit the green, and to fix your divot, you jam your tool underneath the ball mark and lift the soil, but the right way is to circle the edges of the mark with your tool, gently pulling the turf toward the center. Second, when fixing divots in the fairway, fill it with sand until it's level with surrounding turf, and gently smooth it with your foot. Third, when the course imposes the 90-degree rule, it means to stay on the cart path until you can turn at a right angle to your ball, minimizing wear and tear on the turf. 4, when you're driving on the course, proceed at a modest pace and avoid staked and roped off areas. Avoid sharp turns, wet turf, bunker edges, tees, and greens. The superintendent will applaud you. 5, in a bunker, rake the sand smoothly and exit as you entered from the low side. Tap the sand from your shoes and leave it as if you weren't there. And now that you know, make sure your foursome knows as well. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
30 more minutes with ya. Somebody says on the text line, well, a couple of things. Somebody says on the text line, the answer to increase revenue for Major League Baseball is to garner more interest in fantasy baseball than people will watch. I think it always comes back to, and a lot of people don't like when I bring this up, but I think it always comes back to the season is just too long. It's too long, and I know the money would get affected if you shorten the season, but the fantasy football, everything football, you're just locked in for those 18 weeks, and then you're cleared of it. Fantasy baseball, you'd have to almost do, you know how that would work, 916, and maybe we're onto something, maybe this already happens, but you'd have to do like 2 seasons in one, literally.
A split season?
Yeah, you could sign up for a first half season or a second half season. Maybe that would work.
You know, you kind of just brought up a point with the schedule. Are we just too far past that at this point? Like even a shortened baseball season wouldn't save baseball?
Every time I bring it up, and look, that's where I guess I'm more new school millennial than old school millennial. But every time I bring it up, somebody says, hey, what about the records? Even though they ignore Barry Bonds. But hey, what about the records? The TV money would never allow it, which I don't necessarily disagree with. But to your point and everything that you said, Kyle, you had a lot of great points in the last segment. If we're headed towards an Armageddon anyway with baseball, everything very similar to the Keegan Murray conversation we had to kick off the show. Everything should be put on the table. Okay. And if they're refusing, because that's the other thing. Okay, Bryce, no salary cap, but we're going to shorten the season. That could also affect money. Bryce, no. You know what I mean? I mean, something's got to give here.
No, I think the problem that baseball has in the overall is that in the age where regional television was like ballooning baseball and now regional cable is just dying in general, like in the NBA, there's probably like 20 something teams that make money. And part of that is their giant national TV deal. In baseball, like there's probably only like 12 teams that actually are worth $1 billion. Yeah. Like in terms of like ignoring tax write-offs and everything else, there's only 12 teams that really matter in baseball. So unless those 12 are going to propel the other 18, I don't really know what system you could even create to keep all these teams competitive.
209 says 60 games during COVID was more interesting. I agree. Don't throw tomatoes at me, but I've always agreed. 209. By the way, if I'm not mistaken, that's when Mike Yastrzemski was top 10 in MVP voting.
Yeah, what a weird time that was. Jose Abreu won AL MVP.
Yeah, because, hey, it's the shortest. All you got to do is get hot. Eventually, they're going to have to do something right like that, right? Hockey, when they went to the bubble, they just dissolved conferences. Mm-hmm. They were just like 30 teams, free for all, top 16 make the playoffs. I think they had 2 Eastern Conference teams in the Stanley Cup final. So eventually, baseball is going to have to get gimmicky, or else these other teams are just going to be kind of afterthoughts. 530 was on the text line saying a lot of nice stuff about us and about the show, so we appreciate it. Then 530 says, has anyone ever pointed out the fact that Allen uses the pad on his laptop the whole time and not a mouse? I retract everything nice I just said about him. Clearly a psychopath. 530, it's too much for me to have a mouse up here. I don't need a mouse. I'm not doing much. I have my rundown and social media and the YouTube. That's it.
A wireless mouse is all you need.
I don't need that. I'm not doing...
They got Bluetooth ones
When
now.
I was working in tech, yeah, I would have a mouse. But I don't need a mouse for what I'm doing here, 530. Thank you very much.
Yeah, psychopath is a little strong.
Yeah. Now, if you looked at my tabs, Chris Watkins would probably agree with you because I have 8,000 tabs open.
Oh, so your RAM is just going to explode in about 2 months.
So 530, give me a break here. I'm not doing hardcore hardcore work on my laptop. I just got a couple things that I go back and forth. Then I randomly got to look up fake 2K ratings. I got to do that too.
Yeah, you got to look up fake 2K ratings, then another tab to see if the fake 2K ratings are real.
Yeah.
And then,
that's all I got to do. Well, these ratings are real, okay, and they come out every single Senor Segue strikes
that's a
again.
5. That was a quality Senor Segue.
That's a 5.
I'll give it a 4.
Okay, fair enough. You got to keep working.
We're going to strive for more.
You got to keep working. And the tiers are out, okay? The QB tiers, so everyone can complain or be happy about where their team and where their quarterbacks have kind of fallen. Let's get right on into it. You have tier 1, okay, with Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow tied for 1, which is interesting to me. Also in tier 1, Lamar Jackson at number 3. Josh Allen at number 3, Lamar Jackson at number 4, Matthew Stafford at number 5. In tier 2 to kick off tier 2, Jalen Daniels at 6, Justin Herbert at 7, Jared Goff at 8. Tied for 9, you have CJ Stroud, Jalen Hurts. At 11, Baker Mayfield. At 12, Dak Prescott. At 13, Jordan Love. At 14, Brock Purdy. In tier 3, at 15, Kyler Murray. At 16, Aaron Rodgers. At 17, Tua. 18, Trevor Lawrence. 19, Geno Smith. Tied for 20th, Bo Nix and Sam Darnold. At 22nd.
I don't know which one to be more angry at.
At 22nd, Drake May. 23, Caleb Williams. 24, Bryce Young. 25, Kirk Cousins. In tier 4, Russell Wilson at number 26, Justin Fields. 27, Michael Penix Jr. 28, J.J. McCarthy. 29, Daniel Jones. 30, Joe Flacco. 31, Anthony Richardson. 32, 33, Spencer Rattler. And in tier 5 by himself, Kenny Two Gloves, Kenny Pickett.
Wow. So they call him a starter, but not a starter.
Yeah. So those are the tier rankings for the quarterbacks going into this season. Can we start here? And I might be tripping, but is Joe Burrow that good?
Yeah.
Is he that good?
Yeah.
Is he tied with Mahomes? Really?
I've seen people who, again, 1 through 4 kind of mix and match, but I haven't seen anybody who says Joe Burrow is not there. I mean, yes.
I don't know. He could be top 5.
Top 4,
He could be top. He could be, yeah. He's the 4 horsemen.
But
we know who the 4 horsemen is. But now they're saying Joe Burrow is tied with Mahomes.
I mean, I've seen people who are putting him ahead of Mahomes.
It's a little much for me.
I agree, but also Mahomes statistically didn't have the greatest season last year. And 2, I feel like we didn't see a lot of Joe Burrow last year, but when we did, he was awesome. So I feel like people have just kind of forgotten how awesome Joe Burrow can be.
Number 5, Matthew Stafford at 5. I mean, what?
Apparently,
what are we doing?
They had Mike Sando on the Drive Guys yesterday, and Whitey just said first time he's ever been in tier 1 and Lamar's ever been in tier 1.
Yeah, I don't get the Matthew Stafford thing.
Well, it doesn't even matter. He's not going to play this year because did you see they're putting him in a cryo tank or something in the parking lot of the stadium?
Jalen Daniels, 6. I get it. He's the hot name. I want to know where CJ Stroud was going into last season because I would imagine they did the same thing.
Yeah. Doesn't it say somewhere on there if you click on Stroud?
That's right. CJ Stroud. Yeah. It looks like the voting average, he dropped 2.2. Is that correct? I mean, this is very high tech. I don't know. What does it look like this?
Mike Sando's doing great. So he was 6 or 7 last year?
Yeah, yes. Solidly in tier 2. Stroud got 1 tier 1 vote. Yeah, but it looks like he did drop a bit. Okay?
So what are we doing with him? Because the Texans' offensive line is still going to probably stink this year. So are we just going to say, we'll see what happens?
Yeah, I don't know. Jalen Hurts has jumped up Voting average goes up 2.2 as CJ Stroud went down 2.2. I don't mind Jalen Hurts at 9. I just don't like a lot of the other stuff around him. Jared Goff at 8. Really? Jared Goff over Jalen Hurts?
I just kind of think Jared Goff is the new Derek Carr, and that it's like he's just as good as the team you put around him.
Justin Herbert at 7. I mean, can he win something? Can he win something?
Justin Herbert at 7 might actually be underrated.
No, come on, man.
I'm telling you, there are times where Justin Herbert looks like the MVP. It's not as often as other players, but it does happen.
Kyle, we got to stop with this.
Justin Herbert should be everyone's 5th best quarterback.
We literally got to stop doing this, man. Why does he not have to win anything? Why?
Because he plays for the damn Chargers. And he's awesome.
By the way, CJ Stroud was 8 last season.
By the way, I hate the Chargers, and even I will admit Justin Herbert is awesome.
I prefer my quarterbacks to win something before I make them 7. 7.
It should be higher.
No, it should. I'm in front of who?
Is Jaden Daniels 6?
Yeah, he's 6.
Yeah, put him ahead of Jaden Daniels.
No, neither of them. No, neither of them. I would like to see. We just don't care about winning anymore. I'd like to see Jalen. I'd like to see Jalen Hurts. 6 feels too high. I'd like to see Jalen Hurts at 7.
So
I would.
So what? You're putting Jalen Hurts below Jaden Daniels?
If that's what.
Why are you so in on Jaden Daniels?
I'm not that in on Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels went to an NFC Championship with Scary Terry and Noah Brown. I mean, and the rest of Zach Ertz
and Logan Thomas.
Come on, man. And Logan Thomas, who is a tight end now.
No, I get Jaden Daniels is awesome. I would just put him exactly where you put CJ Stroud.
No, I just can't believe that you have. We have to go over this tomorrow in depth because I don't know. I got to re-listen to the Mike Sando piece because this whole list is interesting. It's very, very interesting. And the most interesting man at the station joins us on the other side, Whitey Gleason. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. I love spending a day on the golf course with invited friends, but not with uninvited mosquitoes, which can carry serious diseases like West Nile virus. Don't let mosquito bites ruin your round or your health. Stay safe while playing golf, hiking, or enjoying the outdoors with family. Defend yourself with insect repellent. For tips about your golf game, listen for Golf to Go. But for more tips on protecting yourself and your home from mosquitoes, visit fightthebite.net.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Shaking body dry on a coastline.
Zach Bryan, live in concert. This Friday night, Golden Gate Park.
Baptize me in a bottle of beer for Johnny.
With Kings of Leon, Turnpike Troubadours, and Nolene Hoffman.
Oh, my revival.
Zach Bryan. Tickets are on sale now at GoldenGateParkConcerts.com. Brought to you by your friends at Another Planet Entertainment.
Labor Day savings explode at Elk Grove Chevy with $3,000 off MSRP on every new 2025 Trax in stock. $3,000 off Trax exclusively at Elk Grove Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MadeAChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Dealer for details.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Whatever works.
You probably had shows like that, right? Where you're like, Kyle says something, you're going for the oxygen over
Oh
here.
my goodness, yeah.
Oh, there's a bunch of times where I'll be making a point and I'm kind of done and I see him like looking something up. I'm like, I guess just got to keep going. He's getting his oxygen.
You got to keep going. Speaking
passed
of,
away in 2019.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you were saying.
Well, I was just going to say, speaking of getting it done really any way you can, you see, I'm curious your thoughts on this. We talked a good amount of baseball today. Did you see Jazz Chisholm? And he was almost just kind of obnoxious. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How he was relaying signs to the hitter, going like, he went like he made a circle. I'm assuming it was a changeup. The hitter, he still struck out. Was it Goldschmidt? He still struck out.
I didn't see this.
But okay, you didn't see this?
Yeah.
And people were saying fair or foul, no pun intended, sending signs. We never did. I don't know why Jazz did it that way. Maybe because they don't have a system, because, you know, most catchers are a little bit more sly with what they're doing. But back in my day, it was very simple because most catchers were first sign or last sign.
Yeah, so he's tipping location, right? Because the sign now, everything is like the.
He made a circle with his hands. But to your point, with PitchCom,
yeah,
I don't know what Jazz. Clearly, nobody knew what Jazz saw because Goldschmidt, I think he took the pitch and he struck out. So I don't know if circle. I honestly don't know what that would mean as far as location. But back in my day, it would either be most of the time, most catchers, it was just first. It was either only one sign they were putting down, or it was first sign or last sign. So you get on second base, you would try to figure it out and while not getting picked off. And what we would normally do, you would shuffle your feet normally if it was a fastball, and you would cross over your feet if it was a curveball. That's all fine and good, right? You good with that?
It's gamesmanship. It's part of the game. But I'm also good with the old
ear hole
West. Yeah. Like
if you get
caught doing that, you're going to get drilled.
Yeah. It was summer ball and a guy caught me. Right. And I, because I was kind of squinting.
You're a little obvious.
I was a little obvious. And then I'm like, picking
like, hey,
one.
What are you throwing? I want to let him know.
Picking my foot up, to cross over to make sure. And he looked and he's like, okay, all right. But he didn't do anything.
Oh.
He didn't hit anybody.
He should have. I think
he was just a little salty.
He should have hit you in the back. Next
Why?
time you're out. That's baseball. To
Hey,
me, that's baseball.
Mix up the signs. Mix up the signs. Why don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
What do you think about all this? We've talked about the A's before, but the lowest attendance. We stopped seeing all the posts. Now it's just Chris Biederman.
Good for him.
Nobody else posts anymore.
It's on between you and me on a number of fronts. But talking about baseball, because I was listening Friday driving out to the golf course, and you said, we talk more baseball than anybody on the station. And Kyle, bless him, says, Whitey might disagree. And you said, oh, Whitey talks about the relocation of the A's, but we talk about baseball. So it's on.
What do you mean it's on?
We talk a lot of baseball. Jay played like you. He played baseball.
Yeah, Jay
talk
played
about baseball.
Yeah, Jay played.
Yeah.
It's not really the badge of honor you guys think it is.
Jay, you talk baseball.
Yes.
But you're not getting into the weeds like we are. We're not talking pitch location.
We're not getting deep in the weeds like on Locked On Giants.
Yeah, that's right. And go check out the new episode, by the way, Locked On Giants. During the break, of course, after you're done listening to the Drive Guys.
Don't listen to the Drive Guys. Go listen to Locked On Giants.
I thought your Bob Melvin tweet was cute over the weekend when you tweeted or posted on X, pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Melvin's an old school manager, but his lineups are not old school. I'm like, Alan, what, you think the manager makes the lineups? What, you think it's 1979? Managers don't make their lineups anymore.
So why are they
handed
there?
down to them.
So why are they there?
They're there to make pitching changes.
Based on spin rates and matchups and all the analytics.
They're there for good vibes and to make pitching changes.
Bruce Bochy makes his lineup. That's what I do know. Yes, he does.
I doubt that he does. I don't think it's done anymore. That's why when the Dodgers would lose the World Series and they'd hire Dave Roberts, and Dodger fans go, why do they hire him? His lineups are terrible. It's like, they weren't his lineups.
Wow.
Well, Texas might let Bochy do it only because Chris Young is the general manager. So with some input, Bochy might make the lineups.
Man, yeah, I like to make a lineup now and then.
You know, all we got to do is hit the ball. All we got to do is hit the baseball.
Look, we're talking about getting thrown out at first and third. You can't get thrown out if it's the first out or the third out. That's what we're talking about on this show.
Mm-hmm.
When we're not talking about
who got thrown out stealing third Sunday and his manager ripped him.
Shohei Ohtani.
That's right.
Me and Shohei, same type of player, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we spent numerous minutes on Drew Gilbert being 1 for 15 and the only one he got thrown out at third base.
You and I say this respectfully, you and Shohei are definitely not the same type of players because he's a pitcher and I've seen you throw very recently off the mound.
Whitey.
Very recently.
Let me replay. I'll replay it for you. Hear the pop of the glove.
We can't do this every day where I have to pull up your.
No, don't do it today. We're gonna hear the pop of the glove. Whitey was coming up.
Lines, and here's the pitch.
No.
Want to remind you, family night coming up.
No.
A couple weeks.
Whitey, I'm talking. Look, I'm getting clocked at 80. Okay, that's at the state. That was at the state fair.
And it's a cross.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
This year or last year?
2 years ago, state fair. I'm at 80.
The guns are goosed at the state fair. Everybody knows that.
No.
Everybody in baseball knows that,
No,
Alan.
nobody knows that.
They goose the guns.
They don't goose the guns. I've never even heard that before, but I'm going to use it moving forward.
Of course you
They
are.
goose the guns.
That gun is goose.
No, they goose the balls.
Mm-hmm.
They were goosing the balls.
I'll leave that for you to talk about tomorrow. Paul Gutierrez is going to be with us right at the start of the show. Paul Gutierrez has been covering the Raiders forever.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Geno Smith, where'd they have my guy? At 20? No, at 19?
That's not bad for Geno.
Behind Trevor Lawrence? Are you kidding me? Behind Tua? Behind Aaron Rodgers?
Well, they're all in the same tier.
Yeah, you don't like this list, do you?
I don't like
to talk about this tomorrow.
No, I'm going to spend a lot of time on this list tomorrow.
Alan, make your own tiers list and we'll come back tomorrow.
This is ridiculous.
Please don't do that.
This is ridiculous. And Bo Nix is too low.
Well, because he only played 1 year. That's what's so amazing about Jaden Daniels being as high as he is.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be.
He's at the top at tier 2 already. But again, this isn't, you know this. It's not Mike Sando.
No,
this
I know.
is what I think. It's 50 coaches and GMs and
which
former GMs.
I don't know how they got their jobs. All of them.
Well, all of them are Nepo babies.
And we didn't even talk about Brock Purdy. Yeah, most of them. We didn't even talk about Brock Purdy.
One of the things
14.
I noticed about that list, if your team did well last year, you went up. And if your team didn't do well, you went down.
Brock Purdy at 14, in theory, is fine.
He's a bottom of tier 2, right?
Yeah, he's better than Jordan Love. Baker Mayfield. Honestly, I think the Baker Mayfield argument is a better argument than Jared Goff, who's at 8.
Let's do this simpler. Is there a person who you think is in the wrong tier? Like, is just completely in the wrong tier? Not
That's
even
the
like what
spirit.
number they are. Because if we want to debate the 9th and 10th best quarterbacks, we could do that all day.
Yeah, Matthew
you want to
Stafford.
save that for tomorrow.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford should be in tier 2. Okay.
He's never been in tier 1 before.
And I don't know what possessed them to put him there now. He has a couple good throws, mostly against the Niners, and then his back is hurt.
Well, he also does no-look passes in the Super Bowl.
Oh, whoa.
And you, Mr. Wins guy. So it's Matthew Stafford, who was the 3rd best player on the team that won the Super Bowl, all of a sudden, it makes him a tier 1 quarterback.
Jaden Daniels, I mean, I just can't wait for this. I can't wait for this season, Whitey.
Jaden Daniels is phenomenal.
He was.
Yeah.
We'll see if he beats the sophomore slump or not.
He's just so poised.
He is.
Did you see
I really
Orlovsky's rankings of each quarterback in 7 categories, the top 10? But he doesn't actually come out with a final, here are the top 10 quarterbacks. He just ranks all of them in 7 different categories, 1 to 10.
Whitey.
Yeah.
I think we were still out in the Bay. I was joking about how I feel like I'm back in the Bay doing shows out there, having these Niners injury conversations.
Oh yeah.
How it just never ends for them, man.
Mm-hmm.
And they've tried different training, staff, leader. It's probably the least talked about thing in the NFL, how unlucky the Niners have been.
It's clearly some kind of, if not a curse, it's some kind of jinx, and we got to figure out what the cause of it is so they can get in there and fix it.
I mean, there's only one thing I could think of, and that's Kyle Shanahan.
But
is why the medical staff is bad.
What else is there?
I mean, the turf. I mean, the trainers. Again, I don't want to blast any of them. I'm just saying there are other things I would hit before I get to Kyle Shanahan.
All I know,
since he's been there,
I mean, you can't even keep Jordan Watkins. You can't keep anybody on the field.
Alan, you're a Harry Potter guy, right? Are you a Harry Potter guy? It's like being a dark arts professor.
Yeah.
Being a wide receiver right now in the 49ers.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if I'm a Harry Potter guy. I read the first.
He's a big Harry Potter guy.
I read the
You're
first.
a wizard, Harry.
I read the first 2.
I ought not have told you that.
I read the first 2. I did not finish the 3rd one.
Okay.
But then I saw pretty much all the movies.
Yeah.
You read all the books?
No, I haven't read any of the books. My daughter read all of them.
All of them?
Yes.
Yeah,
all the movies.
Got to be careful in this day and age saying you're a Harry Potter guy.
Hey, the prisoner of Azkaban.
You didn't say it right, but yes.
Did I tell you that for a good part of my life I kept reading Hermione as Hermione?
Oh, I did too.
Because there's nothing, you're not saying it. What is it, Azkaban?
Yes.
It's a fake place.
I did the same thing with Hermione for like 6 books.
I was Hermione. I'm sure your daughter pronounced it correctly.
I don't know if she did or not. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask her.
We're the ones that are just brave enough to admit it.
Call her on the show tomorrow during Crosstalk.
Okay.
Let's find out.
We can do that. She's
all right.
Probably working, but yeah, that's more important.
Thank you. And now you're starting to get it. Drive Guys coming up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Thank you to Coach Eric Martins. Thank you to Kyle Ledbetter. Thank you all the callers, sexers, sack chatters. Until tomorrow, secure the bag. Light the beam.
Don't forget about his podcast.
Good dude by all accounts, but he does not fit. Does not fit. All right, got to go.
Don't forget my podcast.
Got to go.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety